All right, guys, these carnivore RTDs are killer. I've been drinking them post-workout. The macros are amazing. They taste great. 40 grams of protein, 0 fat, 0 sugar, 0 lactose. You got stomach issues, they are not going to mess with you. Roger?
That's right, guys. You can check them out now on their site. All 3 flavors, $9.99, and I highly recommend it.
Let's go.
Boom.
Killer, bro.
Love the chocolate.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
What's up, everybody? We got a familiar guest on the couch, Kevin Interdonato, actor extraordinaire, bastard sons leader, right?
They don't know what that is yet.
No,
yes,
they will
well,
soon.
they would know. Come on, we have some loyal fan base. They know.
If it wasn't for this actor strike, they would know, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, what, the 29th or something of this month, wasn't it?
Was in July, last month.
Oh, sorry,
Supposed to
last
be
month. That's right.
Last month, the 28th,
yeah.
and the fucking strike happened, and that was that. Yeah, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we could talk.
Let's talk about
it.
that.
You want to get
Let's
into
dive
it?
right in.
All right.
Get right into
All
it.
right.
What's going on? How pissed off are you right now?
I'm very pissed off.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm not a straight guy. So my wife and I we're both actors. She has her opinions on it. I got mine. We respect each other's. But I came from a family business, and it's just kind of a blue collar mentality. So being in a union for me is different than SAG is different than like a plumber's local or whatever. It's a different type of union. When you're out of work, they don't call you up. They don't check in. They don't let you know when there is work. With
There's
SAG,
no hall.
you join.
There's no hall you go to.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
With SAG, you just join and then you work, and then they make sure they get their money to pay your to pay the dues, and then it's just a wrap. Like there's no help. You get residuals and shit, but that's just the way it is. But I just didn't think we had to strike. There was a lot of things up in the air that is very valid, very valid. Residuals on streaming platforms and things like that. But I'm an actor and I'm also creating films too, so it's different for me because I put a lot of time into making movies, and I do the best I can, and it's like a laborious process, years. As an actor, you get hired for a gig. If you're lucky enough to get a lead in a movie, it's a month of your life, 2 months with prep, maybe 3. Making a movie is like 3 years. So with the Bastard Sons, for example, we were geared up, right? I mean, we were ready. We had the stuff coming out, the promotions on social media, and then the strike happened, and then I'm told I can't promote my own movie. I can't talk about it. And for someone to put a stamp on me like that, it's like you're going to tell a singer not to sing. You're going to tell a painter not to paint. You know what I mean? So for someone to say like, an actor can't act, I understand because it's strictly the union, but I'm also making films too. So the fact that happened, no, it doesn't sit well with me. I thought a boycott of certain studios would suffice. You know what I mean? I thought it would be okay if we just stayed away from whatever it was. But they just shut the door, man, like totally. So,
but what are like the big button issues that I guess the union's fighting for? They're fighting for actors. It's everybody. It's actors, it's screenwriters, it's directors, it's producers are all lumped together. Is that right?
Writers started with the writers, WGA strike, which is understandable. There's pros and cons to that too. Chuck McClane, remember Chuck? He played guy in the movie. Mm-hmm. He's a big writer in Hollywood, man, and he sees both sides of it too. You know what I mean? The actor side of it is when the streaming studios were created, there was contracts in place. No one thought the streamers were going to blow up. It was just like another place to put movies, like another Blockbuster, but online. Well, a year or two in, before you know it, they're like, let's test our waters with, a TV series. So they do that. Fast forward, the shit blows up, right? So now you got people, actors like myself, that are getting cast in these shows, and you get paid when you do the show. But there was nothing in place to pay residuals on the streaming outlets.
Yeah.
So the Sopranos, I did a bit part 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, I still get residuals for that.
Get out of here.
Still,
But now, okay,
but nothing for streamers.
that's what I'm saying. Like so, you know, like sitcoms go, right? If you can be a syndicate sitcom, you're made for life, right?
Yeah,
And that
a
works.
couple
Like,
years in, you're made. Yeah,
So like Seinfeld, right?
yeah.
So now when Seinfeld sold to Netflix, they didn't get any residuals from that.
No,
What?
they got a lump sum up front. So the way that shit works is like, this is the tricky part because they weren't revealing their numbers, right? So say we made a show. And we go to Netflix and like, all right, you guys like it, and they're like, yeah, we want to give you a licensing fee for 12 months. We'll license it for, say, an exclusive deal. We'll give you $500,000. Say the budget of the show was $300. It's like, okay, we're making out. Investors get paid back. Good. 12 months later, we go to renegotiate, and they're like, show did good. We actually like it here. Let's do another re-up or whatever. How's about another, it's dwindling down, $350 for the 12-month period. And you're like, oh, shit, I'm on Netflix. Fuck it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But you have no idea how many times that thing's getting viewed because they're not releasing the numbers. That show could have been viewed millions and millions of times, but they'll never tell you.
Right.
So a lot of people are getting shafted like that. So I get it.
I did.
Sorry,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I did see one person say some of these actors might be shooting themselves in the foot
Big time.
because they want to see these numbers.
Yeah.
But what if the numbers are saying nobody's watching your
Right.
show?
That's what I was just going to say. Couldn't
Right.
that work in reverse? Couldn't Netflix say we're going to offer you a $500 for $500,000 12-month lease, and it bombs?
Oh, don't think they're going to do that. They're going to do it.
Right.
yeah.
They're bosses. They're not going to lose money. You know what I mean? Like they're not, know? So for me, I do see both sides. I think that they set up a business model that enabled dudes like me, an actor that's just a fucking hustler, that wanted to make movies, went out there and being on a streaming platform, when Sons gets released or any other movies, we're going to be right up there with studio movies. The general audience can't tell the difference what's studio financed and independently financed. So as a filmmaker, you actually have the ability to compete. You know what I mean? Without getting a big theatrical release in movie theaters. So it's like, it's great. You know what I mean? So that's good. But they're businessmen, they set it up to make money, and they made their money. And yes, it was a bum deal in the beginning. They're going to renegotiate and all that stuff right now, and that's fine. But it didn't help when, some big studio heads, I forget which ones, were like, we're going to make them starve and lose their houses or some shit like that.
Oh, they said about the actors.
Yeah, like we'll just wait it out until they lose their houses and then see if they, want to come back. So a lot
But
of
who
people
could play?
got into it.
Who would win that game? Say the holdout game. People have more money, right? I guess the studio heads, right?
There's actors that are like, it's weird because for Amanda and I, we're able to be full time in the business. It took years, you know what I mean? It's not an overnight thing. But just because we're full time in the business doesn't mean we're making millions of dollars. It's just we got enough, we got the house, we're okay,
Yeah.
We don't have second jobs. So most actors do part-time and full-time, or 2 part-times. Ironically enough, and this is what kind of burns my ass, man, is that all those actors you see on the line striking and everything, look, that's all fine and good. I'm not the kind to go out there holding a sign and yelling to nobody. Like, that's not my thing. Yeah. But those people still have jobs. They still have income. People like Amanda and myself and other actors that we know, that we're friends, we don't. You know what I mean? And we work that hard to get there, So it's kind of a catch-22, man. But one of my friends hit me up not long ago, and he's like, hey, I'm going, to New York and strike. You want to come? And I was like, no. I'm like, I got work. I'm prepping this film, getting ready for this film, writing, yada, yada. And that's the difference. Like, I'm not just going to go waste a day. And I know dudes that are out there, like, every day. I'm like, don't you fucking work? What are you doing?
Work towards the future.
Yoga in the morning and then believing, God's going to pluck you up and make you a star or some shit, which never happens. So it goes both ways. But all said and done, not to be long-winded about it, nah, I'm fucking bent, dude. Yeah.
What's the sentiment of like the big, like the Brad Pitts, the Tom Cruises? How do they, like what's their do they come out publicly and say how they feel or no?
They were like on the lines, I guess, to show
Support
this kind of shit, which is whatever.
But they're probably I would imagine like, I mean, at this point, some of these guys are studio heads at this point, right? Are they also studio heads? Like, are there actors that are like owners?
Oh,
you know
yeah,
I mean?
they have their own production companies and they get deals with studios. So studio is like its own entity. Within a studio, They will hire writers. They will find financing. They will hire the director, hire the producers, package the whole thing. And before that movie is even filmed, they know when they're releasing it in the theaters a year and a half later. Like it's like a timeline. It's all there. You know what I mean? It's like a one-stop shop. That's the difference between a studio film and independent film. Independent film, the only difference is that it's independent financed.
Right.
We want to make a movie together. We all throw X amount of dollars on a table. We're making a movie.
What about well, I guess you can't because you're in a union, right? And you can't break that barrier. But like Andrew Schultz, right? Like they wanted to edit his comedy special. They wanted to take so much out of it to get on like what was it, Netflix? What was he going to be on?
I don't even know who that is. Sorry.
It was YouTube.
Oh,
I forget actually.
He's
It
a
might have been
stand-up comic.
Netflix.
But anyway,
Yeah,
he just released it on his own website.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He released it on his own website. This is smart though. He released it for
Pretty
sale
genius.
for a fee,
Right.
and then came out with it on YouTube anyway for free.
Oh.
So, but he killed it. He killed it. It was hilarious.
Not
is
at the same time. There was a delay there, right?
A delay, yeah.
But he has enough of a following to do that.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This
There you
guy,
go.
he's good, and he's very good, very funny.
Yeah.
He
Really
did not
good.
want to be edited. He didn't want to have
Good for him.
And but I
powers
feel
that
like
be
the
tell him
fact,
what he can say.
Yeah.
So
but don't you feel like the fact that that was like one of the biggest things about it was like, oh, this is he decided not that, like that's a pretty good marketing ploy.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Standing his ground, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I know a dude that just, a friend of mine, I'm doing a movie in Thailand with him, hopefully early next year. He had a movie released, and he saw it when it got released by a big distributor, and he was like shocked. It was not the movie that he made. He directed it, put it all together, killed himself on it. It was a World War II film, and it was not his cut.
really,
Wow.
Yeah, they could do it. They could do whatever they
The
want.
studio heads.
Distributors too. You know, once you sign the movie
Distributors
over,
Wow.
they could change the key
it?
art, change the trailer. They could do whatever.
but let's say it's your own though. Like Bastard Sons, for example. Do you have final say? I mean, if you work for somebody, they get final say.
I won't.
You wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
I have. So we had distribution, and last week we parted ways. I wasn't crazy about what was going on with the company. Not going to badmouth anybody, but I just thought we could do better. So if the strike was not going on, I would have swallowed my ego and just let it go. But there's other companies that are bigger that would they're interested and they're looking at it right now. And I can't release it right now until the strike is whatever anyway. So it worked out. But regardless, when you sign that paperwork with the distributor, it's all negotiable shit. And you just lay your terms out. And if they take it or don't, you figure it out.
Right.
Has this happened before?
What's
like
that?
A SAG strike or
Yeah, it did. 1980s, I think there was something.
80s? Wow, that long.
Yeah, there's something in the 80s.
How long was that? You remember?
I don't,
do you
man.
know?
There's people that are more pro SAG than I am. You know what I mean?
What is the benefit to being a SAG member if they're not bringing you work? What is the benefit?
Well, one of the big ones that's important is health insurance, man. You make an X amount of dollars a year. The health insurance is like fucking insane.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Amanda, and Gemma, quarterly, I think we'd pay $750.
Oh wow.
For the three of us, full coverage. That's if you make X amount of dollars in a year. You know what I mean? So if Amanda makes it cool, if I make it cool, and then we're covered. So health insurance is great. They make sure you get residuals when the shows get paid. They make sure you get paid. They get you back if you're doing a movie and you don't get paid. You just call SAG and
Gotcha.
take your life. So they're there. You know what I mean?
They have
They do
value.
what they got to do. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? That's really it in a nutshell.
So what do most people do? I mean, most people that aren't huge celebrities without a reserve of cash, what are they?
99.99% people
Yeah,
are
right. That's what I'm
actors
saying.
are
I
not-
would think that's got to be the vast majority, like you said, probably 99%.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they picking up other jobs where they can, or
Yeah.
yeah?
Toughing it out, savings.
Right.
That's how. I mean, the money. That's how the money comes in. It's a weird business, dude. Like I could have a banner year, right? Maybe I'll have 3 leads in 3 movies and a commercial, right? But the movies are not the biggest budget, so you get paid according to the budget.
Gotcha.
You can't just rob the bank.
Right.
It is what it is. So I could have a banner year, be busy as hell, and maybe make like $65,000-$70,000 from that, right? Or I can get a TV gig, work for 4 weeks and then 5 weeks, and then total. I mean, the amount of days worked, and you're looking at well over 100. And then if you're consistent, you got series regulars. So the pay scales are always changing, but the budgets are getting lower and lower and lower. So the pay is getting.
But why
less
is
and
the
less.
budgets getting lower? Just
Because they're not making as much.
Right. Because there's more
they're not making as
distribution.
much.
Totally.
Money.
Yeah,
money-wise,
like
yeah.
for example, that show City on a Hill I was on with Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
There's this great gal, man. Her name's Jill Hennessy. She was on this TV. She was on City on a Hill. She was on this show called Crossing Jordan years ago, right? And it was like a big show, and it was like network TV. So every week after City on a Hill would air, obviously everyone goes and looks at the reports, like, oh, how many people are watching this shit? You know what I mean? You're looking, and I forget, man. It might have been a couple. It was a couple million collective, like at the time, and then throughout, people would stream it, whatever. She was saying it's crazy because when she was on Crossing Jordan, it was not the number one show, but they were getting 20 million viewers a week and always worried about getting canceled.
Wow.
There's just so many outlets and platforms to watch movies, so the
Now,
movies don't make as much, or the shows don't make
It's a
as
saturated market.
much. Right.
Yeah.
So,
But don't how many streaming services are there?
dude, there's
Right? Don't they need content? So
for
they gotta
everyone
pay, right?
there's probably 4 or 5 for everyone.
Right,
That is
right.
like a secondary service.
yeah.
Smaller
right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're coming out all the time.
Tubi.
Yeah.
I just found Tubi.
Yeah. You told me about
That works.
Tubi.
Tubi's cool.
Free.
Yeah.
Tubi's a free.
But so when Tubi came out, that's called AVOD, advertising VOD.
Oh, because there's ads in it.
Right. So
Okay.
TVOD is transactional. That's rent or buy. When we come out in Sons, it's going to be TVOD
I
first.
prefer that.
Yeah, and then
The
it's gonna
girl
be like-
watches Hulu all the time. She loves Hulu. It drives me
Why not?
nuts.
Because ads.
2-minute commercials.
Yeah.
They're 2 minutes solid.
Yeah.
And I
So
feel like,
that's- but Hulu's free though.
I feel like it's,
Hulu subscription, so that's SVOD.
so
but I feel like it's 7 minutes of the show you're watching.
Yes,
and
pay
And
it.
then
Yeah, right,
two,
right.
it drives me mad. I go get food. I go out get a water. I'm like,
But I've been
tell
watching,
me when this
but
commercial's
I've been
over.
watching some documentaries on Tubi.
Tubi's
Not
great.
bad. Not
Tubi's
bad.
great, man.
Yeah.
And they pay.
Yeah.
They pay.
They pay the like to put.
Yeah, they
content on
pay for independent film. Tubi pays the best.
Now, how does that work though? Like, do they pay? It's not a flat rate. It's based on how many people view your stuff.
Yeah,
right?
they got their own way of calculating that shit. Yeah, and to try to figure it out, it's like
Yeah, but how do you know? Like,
don't-
how do we know you're not getting dragged to the rocks?
that's all the way up the chain. That's like right down to what distribution company you go to. Like before, I know these companies, I know the people there, so it's like I only want to deal with people that do good business that I know pay. So I'll call other filmmakers, be like, "Yo, did they pay you on time?" I'm like, "Yeah." Right. So it's business.
There's
You know
an
what I mean?
insider trading to the business.
Yeah.
Like anything, yeah.
You know.
So TV shows that were in production and filming, they literally just drop the boom mics in the
Yeah.
middle of and they just abandon set.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's wild.
Now, is there an anticipation for how long this is going to?
I heard 5 or 6 months.
How long?
Longer.
You're 2 months now. No, 2 months. 3.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a drag, man. So I've just been prepping for everything else and
Yeah.
gearing up and getting ready. But I might be doing a film in London, and I might be doing another one in Thailand.
So now, are these films in the SAG sphere, or are they because they're at?
You're allowed
Is there other organizations other than SAG? That's what I'm saying.
Internationally, or you're just flying under the radar?
You know what I mean?
Under the radar, yeah. I don't. You got to do what you
Dude,
got to
it's
do,
like
bro.
this, bro.
Diapers ain't cheap.
Be an honorable pro SAG guy, which I am, and I always have been. Or put food on my fucking
Yeah,
table.
that's
And I
right.
got no
It's
time
easy-
for that
it's
shit.
easy decision
And that's
right
that's
there.
like brass tacks. That's what it comes down to.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
So people can go picket and yell and chant all they want, but it's like I worked my ass off to get where I am, and I got to keep that roof over my
you always
head.
you could always do an OnlyFans, bro. You know.
Yeah.
Are they
But what
SAG?
about like you, like this guy Andrew Schultz did, or he? I guess he did YouTube. Could people create their own website and just put content out?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because they're not one of those
It'd
services.
it'd be like an independent.
Yeah.
You'd be your own.
And that wouldn't be breaking like the union
No.
lines. Wow.
No, because you're doing it independently, not through one of.
We should
Right.
do like a Wayne's World Access TV type show. We'll get fucking Kev over here.
There we go. There we go, man.
You
Yeah,
always
it's
got
like the Wild West.
You
man.
always got. I feel like you always have something brewing, man. You always got
Yeah.
something going on, something cooking. So
Yeah, I do. I actually do, man. It's
Well,
always
I
some
mean,
cool shit.
you've done. I've seen you promoting some projects you've done recently. What award did you just win?
I got an actor award at the New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
you've been in a horror film?
That was never. That was it's a thriller with like horror tones.
I gotcha.
So it kind of went in there.
Do you get typecast, you think, or no?
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
Typecast is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to think it was
Typecast is
bad.
what, like a gangster or
He's got a look. He's got a
Gangster, gay. No,
gay?
gangster, bad cop, dad with a history, kind of that stuff.
Wife
Like good
beater.
guy, nah. Romantic comedy, good luck. But being typecast is actually a good thing, and there's certain things I came up with when I started going to acting class. I was like, that was like taboo. Like, you don't want to be typecast. You want to do all these roles. And it's bullshit. It's good in class and workshops when you like.
Because there's always work, right? They need a role filled. They're
They
going to
need
call
it.
you, right?
So if you're good at it,
yeah.
do it. Promote it. You know what I mean? Get in there. But yeah, for the most part, being typecast is good.
What's the most favorite project you've been part of so far?
In what capacity?
Just is it your own stuff? Like for example, Bastard Sons, like acting in your own because it's more personal, or did you have, like Sopranos had to be pretty amazing. I know you had a small role, but you were still in the Sopranos, bro. How many people can say that?
You know what, man? I didn't watch the show.
You didn't watch Sopranos?
When I got the
You're an
part.
Italian guy from New Jersey. That's
Yeah.
impossible.
I didn't watch the show.
Really?
Yeah, because I had acting class every Sunday night, like for a couple years, and I just like missed it.
You have
know?
since, though.
What's that?
You have since watched it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have. That was cool. Dude, I was so broke at that. Did I tell you that story when I was on The Sopranos? The time I was on set, like the first day. I was, ironically enough, filming right around the corner from where I was living now. And
Was that Hoffman's Ice Cream or was that the diner?
oh my God, it's right around the corner
I
from
know
me.
you were walking in. I don't know if it was the diner
I thought it was.
or was it.
Why am I
like
blanking?
a
I go there all the
deli
time.
or
Holstein's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. little
That's what I
restaurant.
meant. I said Hoffman's. I meant Holstein's.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a great little
Yeah,
joint.
yeah,
man.
I've been there.
It was right there.
Yeah.
So it was in Montclair. We're shooting, and when I got you wardrobe checks and shit. So I remember going to wardrobe like 2 days before, and they opened up this closet, and there was like 7 jumpsuits, red, blue, green, this, and they're like, pick one. I'm like, all right, I'll take the blue one. Then there's the prop master opened up a suitcase, and it was all watches on the bottom and all necklaces on top. He's like, pick one. I'm like, all right, this one, boom, boom. And then we get to set. So, dude, I was living in Belmar, 11th Ave at the time, right? With all my buddies. I was broke as a joke, like a winter rental. I get to set, and the food was like, dude, it was like going to Brando's and Asbury. I mean, it was just like unreal, right? So I'm pigging out. So it gets time to do the scene, and I'm eating, and there was like a lot of snacks and everything. So I'm like, shit, man. So I'm taking like the Oreos, the Nutter Butters. I'm taking peanuts. I'm taking this, that. Now I got like the parachute, the jumpsuit, right? So my pockets up here, my pockets on my pants are like packed. You know when you got your keys, your wallet, and your phone in one? So I had it all over, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to my trailer, dump this shit, and then come out. So I'm packed with shit. And then the first AD's like, Kevin, we're gonna shoot. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be right there. He's like, no, we're going now. I said, all right, I'll be right there. He's like, no, we're going now. I was like, all right. So I had to run down the street and tackle some guy, right? So we start filming, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good. I was so embarrassed, and the whole like block was blocked off, and everyone that lived there was watching. Action! And I'm like, shoosh, and I'm jumping down. I'm running down the street, and I feel my pockets going whap, whap, like flapping against my chest, like my pants. They're like, cut. I'm like, oh no. So the first AD comes over. Everything's quiet on the film set, right? He's like, what's in your pockets? I said, oh, I just got some stuff. He said, well, take it out. I said, well, it's all right. I'll put it in my bag. He's like, just take it out. We got to shoot.
No.
Oreos, Nutter Butters. Could have had a mound of shit.
Oh
A
my
mound of junk
God.
food. I was so embarrassed. Everyone's laughing at me and
That's
everything.
fucking amazing.
Remember when we had to do the ADR in
Yeah, yeah,
Telly's
yeah,
place?
yeah,
So ADR is when your sound doesn't come off in the movie, you got to go and re-record it. So I didn't know what ADR was at the time. I was so green because it was like the first gig I really ever got. So they called me up to do ADR. I'm like, okay. So I go to the city. And it's a room like this. It's dead quiet, and it's bigger, and there's all windows all around, and there's like people behind the windows, and they speak over the intercom and in the mic, or in
Sounds
the
like an
headset. So you got a mic
interrogation
like
room.
this, and I had a podium, like an old wooden podium, and there's a big screen, and you watch yourself on the screen, and then you see your dialogue, and you got to like say it and repeat it and say and repeat it, and then line it up. So like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I just got to say the words, and they're like, yeah, just say the lines. I'm like, okay. So the scene starts me running. So I'm like, all right, I gotta like huff and puff. You know what I mean? So like action. I never did this before. I had no idea. So I'm like, so I'm running in place, like my high knees and everything. And then when I tackle the guy, I tackle the wooden podium and I bring it down to the ground and the fucking thing breaks. And I grab the mic off the ground and I'm like, you think you're gonna hide from us? Tony wants, money, this or that. And silence. And I'm looking around. I'm like, did I do it? And then all of a sudden, I look, and these guys are like hysterical laughing at me, just doubled over. And they're like, Kevin, don't tackle the podium. Just breathe heavy and then say the lines. We'll add those sounds in later. I was like, oh, all right.
That's how you play.
Cool.
Yeah, you earn your money.
Yeah.
That's great.
That reminds me, you ever see that video of Hugh Jackman doing the ones he was on this where he's, yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, you got to get into it, man. You want to replicate it. Al Pacino said he likes doing ADR because it gives him an opportunity to make it better. And once I heard that a couple years ago, I was like, oh, it's true. Because usually it's a bitch doing that shit.
No bigger name than that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you were talking about living in Belleville, where my girl lives, and
Belmar, but
Oh, you said Belmar?
he did.
Oh, I thought you said
I
Belleville.
lived in Belmar. Now I'm in Bloomfield.
Okay, Belmar. Sorry. And being like down and out, having no money, or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't you think that makes you like that's like a defining moment? Either go get a 9-to-5 or get hungrier and go after what you want, right?
Yeah, big time. I was working with my dad until I was 30.
Yep.
That's really the only job. I had little jobs. That's the only job I ever had, swinging a hammer and, I was drywalling and finishing. But that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the strike. Like, I understand the other side of things. 'Cause I grew up with a business owner. You know what I mean? I grew up, and your father's got a plumbing business, right? Yeah. So I know what it takes. So I had that, like, you know what I mean? Like, acting when I went to LA.
That blue collar.
Yeah. I started doing really good in LA the first year. I was banging, man, like big commercial, TV, this and that. But there was so much downtime. And I see people doing like yoga in the park. Like, nothing against yoga.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm right from Howell. I'm
I
like,
did yoga today, bro. I did yoga today.
I was like, during a work day, I'm like, I just can't see it. I'll do it later. But that's when I started learning how to do productions, and writing and all that stuff, and learning about distribution, because I knew eventually I was going to make a film, and I was like, I want to know it soup to nuts.
So right away, you knew like acting was just the tip of the iceberg for you.
Yeah, it's still my core. Like, I love it like nothing else. But I was really surprised, mostly with Sons, on how much I would enjoy making a film, directing, and like in post, the creative process. That was fun.
I mean,
That was cool.
I'll say, as you were just talking about your experience being green and your struggles, obviously Frankie and I have never done anything like that before, and you made us feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
Man. So it was
I'm
cool.
glad.
Sure.
Because you are our El Pacino.
Yeah, you guys did great, man. You guys did great.
No, everybody that was involved.
Everybody,
was really cool. Man.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, it made me like it. You know what I mean? It made me like it. Yeah.
I wish no, I don't wish. I don't take anything back. But handling all the responsibilities I did, I wasn't able to enjoy everything as much as everyone else. But
isn't that the role?
What's
Kind of.
that?
Isn't that the role that you had?
Yeah, that's it.
It's kind of tough to be in the moment because you're worrying about everyone else, right?
Yeah. But I knew what was coming. I was ready for it. The other
But
two
it becomes your baby, and you nurture that baby, and then you get to see the baby once it's born. I mean, that's got to be.
That's even like
That's got to be rewarding,
right.
You know?
Like one part you have, you get to see it, flourish. But everybody's part you get to see flourish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Every little nuance of thing, every sound, every sound was like picked.
Yeah.
You know how many sounds there are for glasses being put down on a table? I mean, you
We
pick everything.
did the first screening in Red Bank.
Red Bank, yeah.
And then we did the film festival in I said LBI, but I guess technically it's Manahawkin.
yeah.
I actually enjoyed it better the second time. I took more away from it the second time.
I agree. Now, you would know this because you've been in many things. Like when we saw it in Red Bank, I felt we're still too close to it. You know what I mean? Like I just too close to it. When I saw it in LBI, I was like, wow, okay. I'm like,
felt different,
It felt
right?
different. It did.
Different theater, different sound system too.
Right.
There's all these like little things. Like there was so much more sound coming through those speakers in
was.
Manahawkin because it was an actual movie theater.
Okay.
The speakers in Red Bank sucked.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Sucked. So there was like 75% of all the
Antiquated theater we went to. Probably has a ton of history behind it. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
the theater
Count
in
Basie,
Manahawkin
right? Count
was
Basie.
No, it was
Count Basie's Lakewood.
No,
isn't it?
actually it is called Count Basie now, but it was called Clearview.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a wild experience, man. But the other two I did right after that were more fun. More fun. I didn't direct them. I just set them up and I wrote both of them. That was a trip. But you guys will do more. Look, if Sons makes money, we're doing it again. We're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
But I can't. Yeah, I got the hook. I got it all figured out.
Frankie lives, so he can come back.
Frankie lives. You're one of the boys now. We got to get someone else in because essentially we're gonna.
We got to jump
split.
you in now first.
Yeah, you're gonna jump me in. My name is big. It's gonna take 3 of you guys.
The way to make it work is we got to split up, but I'll fill you guys in another time. But
That's awesome.
A lot of people make sequels because it's just they want to do it. But essentially, I don't talk art too much. Obviously, what's in here is I want to move as many people as possible. I want everyone literally in fucking New Jersey to feel proud to know that this happened here. You know what I mean? But I talk money more publicly because who the hell wants to hear anybody talk about art, right? It drives me crazy when I hear it. So money equates to how many people are watching it. So if the movie makes a decent amount of money, then it's like, okay, people are interested, they're watching it, then we'll pony up, I'll write the script. And
Just needs a little buzz, and then things take off. That's what it needs,
man. We should get it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Should get it. So
A little
we'll
hiccup
see.
here with the strike, but it'll people will be hungry to watch new stuff once.
Yeah.
once-
That's the way I look at it, right?
That's what I'm hoping, man. Imagine we get like a Christmas release.
Oh man.
When everyone's home, everyone's watching shit,
Right.
So, I'm just hoping that things come through with the right timing. So we'll be all right with it. We'll be all right. But you guys will jump in more stuff. I was talking to you both about it. There's things that are cooking, so I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I had fun. I would definitely do something like that again. For sure.
I would do it. It's intimidating as shit. It's something I don't know anything about, never done it, no experience in it, but I like challenging myself. This guy, I hate giving this guy compliments because he's such a fucking absolute douchebag and he never has anything good to say about me, but he did stand-up comedy, and that is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And he is even keel with me. He has no experience in it. You know what I mean? He's total novice at it, and he did it. And I was like, God damn, if he can do that, fuck it, I'll give shit a try. You know what I mean?
Hey,
That's
Stand-up
great,
comedy
man.
is, to
Yeah.
me, that's a
Comedy makes it
whole
good.
level past acting, especially, like you can do a second take. I messed up one line, and you're like, oh, no big deal, we'll do another one. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I was less nervous when you said that, you know what I mean? So, but with stand-up, there's no retakes. You bomb in front of a crowd, and they're going to let you know.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, which is crazy. I tell comedians, my first set was a 5-minute set in front of 250 people. That's unheard of for comedians, but it was an MMA crowd. Everyone knew who I was, so they were a little gracious. So it wasn't, people were being respectful. No one was heckling me or anything like that.
Was it in Jersey?
No, it was in Vegas.
But listen,
Still, man,
but I heard it. It was you could actually watch it. It was videoed. I heard it. Listen, he's not going to be the next, Andrew Schultz, but he did really well. You know what I mean? He didn't bomb at all.
I wrote it. I mean, I had help. I had
Yeah.
a couple of my buddies help, and a comedian actually helped. But it was my content.
Cool.
I memorized everything.
I think when
I rushed through it like that. Like, would I do it again? People say, "Would you do it again?" I'm like, I don't know if I would do it maybe one more time because I think I could do better than I did last time. But I don't know if I would be a comedian.
Yeah.
That's
a
a tough tool to have or tough talent to have. I don't think I naturally have.
A lot of people can be funny in front of their family at Thanksgiving, but you stand up in front of a crowd, that's
To turn
a
it on?
whole different
There's
vibe.
like this it factor thing. What C.T. Fletcher was talking about, right? With you. He was dead on, man. That intangible thing. Like, it's
sixth sense almost, right? Like a sixth sense.
flow state. Yeah.
And you got to feel it. You got to know. For most actors, and I'll throw myself in the mix there. I mean, if you let the industry or any business you go in dictate your sense of worth, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You got to know you're worth something, right? It keeps you going, keeps you going. And then, in my case, I had some opportunities, not as many as I fucking wanted.
I hear what you're saying, and you're right. You hear it from all these motivational speakers all the time. Like, you're going to be the next greatest thing. But there's a lot of people out there that need to work a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people.
Would you say it all the
The world needs
I feel
ditch
like someone
diggers,
told
too.
me, but I feel like someone what?
My dad said it to me when I was a little kid.
yeah,
The world needs ditch diggers,
The
too.
world needs ditch diggers.
Yeah.
I say grave diggers. I think it sounds more.
I dug
ominous.
ditches. I know what that's all about. Yeah. But
It's a safe route, but it's
Bro,
no dishonor in it.
be a UPS driver, bro.
Yeah,
That's what you should do.
I know.
Dude, I wish I was.
170
sometimes.
G's they make a year.
Listen, I'm pretty close with my personal UPS driver that delivers to me. My other friend Sam.
You start dating him soon.
Yeah. He's got to build an addition on his house now. But anyway, they say, look, that sounds great, but that doesn't take into account for all the overtime you're working.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount of overtime.
wait, so-
all the holidays
Okay,
you're
but
working.
wait,
You're not with your family on Christmas.
But wait. So the 170 is
It's not your
not
base.
normal.
It's not, no, that's not your base.
It's
That's-
saying what you could
That's
make
what
if you work your
could
ass
make
off.
if you work your ass off.
All right,
Which
all right.
it's pretty much mandatory. You have to. You can't just say at Christmas, no, I'm going
But I
away
also
with my
heard
family."
this, like
You won't be there.
UPS or FedEx drivers, they get their route at the beginning of the day, and that's it. You bang that route out, you're done.
True, but but it's kind of like my work. That's basically how my work works too. They give you a route,
That's why this guy's hanging out all day.
but they track you, so you don't want to get it done too early.
Oh, yeah,
I could
yeah.
probably do because I've been there 25 years. I'm a union guy. You know what I mean? I could probably bang it out before noon every day.
Yeah.
It's just gonna give me more shit.
Yeah.
So pace yourself. You don't want to kill yourself.
It's the fucking American way, baby.
Yeah. No, listen. It's if. And I'm not talking shit, but if you came and tried to do what I do and did what I
wouldn't
did,
get there.
it would take you 12 hours to do what I did today.
Yeah,
well, I could do it in 7. You know what I mean? And have an hour to hang because I've done it so long.
I don't know. I like
you know
to
what I
try.
mean?
I like to give. I
Yeah,
like
this
to
guy-
see.
everything
does
is a
stand-up, man. Maybe
challenge.
you could-
I like
Dude,
to see.
everything is a challenge. This dude. I think we're going to be racing each other soon. Dick.
Yes.
I
Yes.
told
A
you.
foot race?
No, well, let's not get
That's
carried
fine.
away here.
It's
We're
like
both
a
not our
locomotive taking on a fucking Ferrari. You know what I mean? But
No, we're gonna race in the what do you call stock cars? I guess, right?
It's
No
stock cars
shit.
at Wall Stadium. But yeah, I have a friend. We both have friends that own cars.
Nicotone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nicotone.
And my
drives
friend Jimmy
in,
Blewett.
Jimmy
Dude, I know
Blewett.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
I grew
Jimmy's
up
a
with
legend,
Jimmy.
bro.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Dude, I grew up with Jimmy.
Did you
man.
really?
Fuck yeah.
He FaceTime. He was already doing it, and I was like, "That's cool, bro. Like, to take the opportunity." You know what I mean? I guess it's like a spectator race type thing or whatever. And then I was sitting home like a week ago, and Jimmy FaceTimes me. He's with Nick. I think they'd had a couple drinks, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Bro, you're racing Frankie. You're taking my car." I'm like, "Bro, he's gonna put me in the wall, and you're gonna have no car." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I'm gonna put him right back in the wall, though.
Tell
so.
Jimmy I said what's up, man.
I
haven't
will.
seen him in a
Yeah,
minute.
that's funny. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a big dude too, right?
He is. He's loved and hated because he wins.
But he's a big guy.
Oh, he's a
right?
big guy. Yeah,
That's what I
big
was
guy.
saying. I was like, oh, that's what I was telling Nick. I was messing around. I'm like, oh, Roger's about 100 pounds more than me. I'm gonna fucking crush him. He's like, bro, Jimmy's a big dude. He
Jimmy's
wins
a
all
big
the time.
dude. He wins all the time.
Yeah, for years.
That's his home track, and
Years,
he
man.
kills it over there.
Yeah. So
You
how
know,
fast, like top speed, what are you guys gonna be doing?
I don't know. I wouldn't get. I would guess maybe. I was gonna say 100. I don't
Think,
know.
yeah.
You got
Well, it's a circle track, right? Yeah, yeah.
I just did that New Jersey Motorsports Park though.
You
that
did it
one
what in
Millville?
Yeah.
Dude, did 153 on the straight there.
Really?
And it's the acceleration isn't hard. I mean, cornering, like you got to know what you're doing. They kind of lay it out for you. You just basically go right at a cone,
Yeah.
and then you brake hard before you get the cone, then accelerate. There's a method to it. They give you a couple, go rounds, but the thing I was really trying to push is top speed on the straight.
Yeah.
And the instructor got 150, and I was like determined. I was like, I'm gonna beat 150. I got the Ferrari to 153, but which is no problem. It'll easily do it. Easy. Wow. It's stopping before you get to the hard right turn.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like you got to just
Because
jump
that's what
on
it is,
the
right?
brakes.
At the end of that, I believe
It's a hard right, and
It's a hard right at
if
the end
you
of that
don't get it
straightaway.
slowed
Yeah,
down
yeah.
enough, you're going straight over that hill.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude. Wow.
So the speed is not a problem. Easy to get there because they have all the power in the world.
Yeah.
It's the stopping that's the issue, So you're not actually stopping. You're just getting slowed enough to where it will make the corner.
Right.
Because if you don't slow enough, you're going to just, you're not going to go straight off. You're going to slide off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fun stuff, man.
Fuck it. I seen a Hollywood studio. I don't know which Hollywood studio, and a college in Atlanta are bringing back the masks.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yes,
Not for COVID,
for COVID,
the new strain.
which is bullshit.
I don't know if you wanted to get into politics or not, Kev,
No,
but
it's
we
not
are.
politics.
look.
This ain't politics. This is pathogens. We're talking pathogens. We're not talking politics. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's certainly, you see it everywhere, but like you said upstairs, it's really talked about just by the one side. The other side's kind of ignoring it.
Right. So,
So
I wonder.
we'll
I
see
don't
what
trust
happens.
Nothing. I don't trust no sides anymore.
I was
There
first.
are no sides anymore. There are no sides.
Did you guys have to get the booster back when that shit was going on, or did you get that?
The shot?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Who the fuck? I'm a pure blood for life.
I was forced to get it, they said I couldn't work and I couldn't step foot on set.
So now, what would happen?
Which I didn't want to, but I'm like,
what happens to these people that were? Well, there's a couple things we could talk about here. The United pilots, right? Like 400 and something of them, or maybe more. Maybe it was like 4,000. I forget. Let go. They were all brought back, right? They didn't get it. They refused. They were terminated, and they brought them all back after. What if you were one that was forced to? You got it, and you're one of these guys that gets myocarditis and drops dead. Can your family sue? No, they can't. How crazy is that?
That's wild, man. I didn't want to get it, and that was 2 years ago. So that was 3 years after
You got the
finished
2?
chemo.
You got the 2?
Yeah, I did. I had to get 2. Yeah.
See, plus the chemo, that's crazy.
Yeah, even with that, I was like, really? I got to fucking do this shit. I got to put this in my body.
There's just so much. Listen, I respect everybody. My dad's the most hardcore patriot, conservative dude you'll ever meet in your life, and he got it.
Did he?
And I'm not convinced that it was a bad idea for him because he's older. You know what I mean? He's 70.
Listen to Joe Rogan?
He's huh? Yeah. He does say that. But he's got comorbidities, right? He had a quadruple bypass. But he regrets it. He regrets getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, do you think they could try to make you get it again? Another one?
I will not.
Yeah.
I will not.
that's what it's
I'll
going
just
to
make
take.
my own. Fuck them.
That's what
I don't have time for
OnlyFans.
that shit anymore. Yeah. OnlyFans, yeah. No, I'm not doing it. Oh, I want to bring that story up to you.
Let's hear it.
All right. I think this happened.
Kev's like, fuck politics.
No. I'll sit in it. No, it's fine. But before I forget, I just want to throw this out there. So, you graduated in 99, right?
2000.
2000. I graduated in 97. So me and my buddies from Howell, we were a fairly rowdy bunch back in the day, and we got into a lot of stuff. I'd say half in Seaside, half in Belmar, right? So in Seaside, my one buddy lived in Seaside, so we were down there a lot. After graduating high school, I'd say for another 3-4 years, that was like our thing. So we used to go to the Bamboo. Dude, I spent like 2 New Years at the Bamboo when it was like dead, like ghost town in the winter, you know what I mean? We were just always there. There was a time, I'm pretty sure it was the summer, that I remember, I have this story in my head. I never put 2 and 2 together. We were outside, and there was a dude. I must have been 24. There was a dude that looked like you, and you were the bunch of guys, and you guys were pretty rowdy too.
That was him. Bunch of dudes. Were they all wearing chaps, assless chaps? That was him. Were they riding ponies?
Yeah. And we were I think it was you, Frank. I think we were actually like chatted up, just like smoking and joking. I was smoking anyway. And there was someone there that you wanted to fight.
Yeah, that's Frankie, 100%.
And
Frankie.
I don't know. Now, we used to do this all the time. You tell me if you guys used to do this. Did you have, like, if you guys wanted to start a fight, did you guys push each other into people?
Oh, yeah.
That was you, motherfucker. Look.
It's one of these
So
ones.
you were like, I know it was you. We were actually talking. This is years ago. We're outside. And you're like, yo, push me in this dude over here. And I was like, what? You're like, push me in this guy. Like, launch me into him. I was like, why? And he's like, just do it. I'm like, all right. So at one point, I pushed you. Like, I launched you. I pushed you from behind into this dude. And you just, like, mashed into him, man. Went flying. And the dude went flying. And from there, obviously, it was the perfect way to pick a fight. And you just started swinging haymakers at him. And this whole fucking brawl just started going on. I jumped in. My friends jumped in. It just big thing right outside the front of Bamboo. I'm pretty sure it was you. I'm pretty sure.
I've been in quite a few at Bamboo, so
Yeah.
a good chance it could have been.
I have a feeling. But you guys used to do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Because that was our thing, too. We always
I feel like every
push
guy
this
does that. Yeah. Because it's an easy way to say it wasn't me.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I got to fuck you up, but it wasn't me.
Or get them to swing first and then it's on, you know?
You know where I got my first Jersey? I'm sure friends did that to me and me, and I'm sure, but in Jersey, was at your fight in Boston against BJ Penn. I was with, I don't want to say first names, Tommy, Kurt,
T.
all those guys, right? And there was a dude that walked down the steps and was like, he wasn't like actually in an assigned seat, but he was like hanging over the banister. Biggest BJ Penn fan you've ever met in your life. You know Kurt and Tommy and Bulldog and all those guys. Bro, they launched me. But they never told me they were going to do it. and launched me into this dude, and I just mowed him. He just like fell over because I'm a big dude, and they just Tommy did it.
Oh,
fucking absolutely fucking just shoved me. I didn't know, but I hated the guy, so it was okay by me because we just mowed him over. But it's the crazy part about that is him and BJ are like fucking super close. So there was no hate between the guys kicking the shit out of each other, but between me and between us and the BJ fans, there was a lot of beef.
Oh man.
That's funny man. I had some good ones. I wonder if that was the one I ended up getting into a fight afterwards too.
The one I'm talking about?
Yeah, because I remember I got into a fight in Bamboo. We got kicked out.
Yeah.
And then I was mad because I didn't get to get after the guys.
Yeah.
You ever go to jail, Seaside Jail?
No, I got arrested once. Never. They didn't put me in the bin though.
I went I got handcuffed to the wall twice.
Yeah,
me
no,
too.
they didn't even handcuff me.
Really?
They let me chill in the middle.
Because you're a legend.
No, this is before. I was a wrestler at the time. That's why
They must have known
Yeah,
something
yeah.
because you're just a punk.
Yeah. But the one time I'm out there and me and I guess Renee, I think Renee got yoked up by the bouncers because she was, because I was getting thrown out, so she jumped on him.
Sure,
And I
sure.
didn't know that. I'm just like looking for the guy that I got in the fight with. And Renee's yelling, "Oh my God, Baba." And I'm like, what? So we're arguing on our way back to the car. It's kind of just me and her. And she's just crying, whatever, stupid stuff. We're fighting. And some dudes run up on me and they're like, "Whoa, what are you beating on your girl? What are you beating on your girl?" I'm like, "Bro, mind your business."
Yeah.
And then my boys ran up, and then cops actually came and seen it all kind of go down. So my this is my line. I was like, "Sir, I just want to go home. I just want to go home." That was really my line. I just want to go home, sir. And he's like, "All right, get out of here, guys." And I paid attention to see where these guys drove off. So I told my buddy, I was like, "Drive that way." I seen these guys getting out of the car, and I got out. I'm like, "Who's the tough guy now?" I fucking whooped these dudes, bro.
Seaside, man, you get away with everything down there back in the day.
Yeah,
My
people that aren't
God.
from this area don't understand. I mean, I grew up in Maine scrapping, but there wasn't like a designated place. It just happened wherever.
And it was all
Here?
fair. It was always fair. Okay, you go. Now I'll go. In fucking Jersey, like as soon as the guy turns, hit him.
No, I will say down growing up, I mean, maybe shit's different. It was a lot of one-on-one and just a crowd standing around watching. You come down here, bro, it's fucking all-out
melee.
melees.
Yeah, mayhem. We used
It's
to go
mayhem.
did you guys go to Excess and Temps?
Oh yeah,
Teen
Of course,
night and all that
yeah.
stuff?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Teen Night Surf Club.
Teen night was Surf Club, sure. Yeah, that was mayhem.
Best clubs
mayhem,
ever
dude.
in Seaside. Best
Fun.
clubs ever anywhere, I think,
Fun stuff.
that I've ever been to.
Jeez. That's nuts, man. I think when I stopped that shit when I was 27 or 28. Cold. I got sued bad, and I was like, that's it. Done.
Yeah, that's
Wipe me
usually
out.
Getting into UFC helped me. As soon as I got to UFC,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
sure,
I
man.
can't. Even like when I started fighting, I'm like, shit. I mean, I've gotten a couple fights, but I was trying to avoid it.
Yeah. That's got to be hard, man. People fucking ask for it every now and then.
No,
The
honestly,
hard shoulder bumps
honestly,
when you're
no.
walking by. You don't have to deal
Never.
with that.
I've never.
Wow.
Since I've been in the UFC, I've never been a point where I'm like, I'm gonna have to hit this dude.
Wow.
You ever hear any of those myths? Like I remember not so much about you, Frankie, but even before you, like boxers, UFC fighters, or whatever, they can't fight because their hands are registered weapons. I used to hear that when I was a kid. That's not fucking true, right?
It is no, it's true. Is I'm licensed. Well, I'm not licensed anymore because I'm.
So the
I'm,
law would look at you differently. Basically, is all.
They
it means,
could.
right?
They could. Yeah. Even today, but honest, a wrestler.
They're not
A wrestler-
registered weapons.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no.
You used to
They
hear
say-
that
no,
as a
they
kid,
say-
though.
No,
I used to
they
hear
are.
that, too.
You're licensed to fight.
Right.
Your hands are licensed. No, I'm licensed to fight.
Right,
You have to get a license.
Yeah, but
a
that's
guy
not-
that trains every day of his life.
I know what you're saying, and something got lost clearly in the
Translation.
Translation,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I was a kid, it used to be they're not allowed.
No,
to
I
fight.
heard that shit too.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. But I know a guy who's like a world class wrestler. I mean, I don't know him, but I know a coach told me this because he was like, be careful whenever you're getting fights. He was a world, like probably on the world team. Fucking picked this dude up, belly to back him, a guy landed on his head, was fucked up, and he went to jail for a long time.
Yep.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, I don't know.
Listen,
I just feel like I learned to finally take care of myself, and then I defend myself, and now I'm going to jail.
Right.
How does that make
well,
sense?
I think often what happens, there was a case down at that diner in Forked River, maybe during COVID. I remember during
Yeah.
COVID.
Someone got
but-
shot though, no?
where you punch a guy, you knock him out on his feet, and and they'll recover fine from that, right? Like dudes fight each other, you get knocked out. It's the fall. When you fall, when you
That's what
smack
happened?
your
Is
head.
that what happened?
Yeah, the guy died.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And the guy that punched him, who just one-shotted him, and like I think they were actually, it wasn't like a sucker punch. I believe the story goes they were having an argument. The guy fucking cracked the dude. He went down. 2 older dudes too. They were like late 50s, but the one dude, the dude that did the cracking, was built like he had no neck. He was built like a fucking football.
Yeah.
And the other guy that fell hit his head on the way down. And he died. And the guy that hit him, obviously,
What did they get, manslaughter
I don't
charges?
remember. I believe probably originally charged with manslaughter. It was probably downplead, but yeah,
Wow.
But that's crazy.
I mean, you know.
it wasn't his intent to kill the guy. Obviously,
Right. But
Well,
it's
you
still
guys carry,
manslaughter.
right? You guys have license and you carry firearms.
Well, he has concealed carry. I'm
Concealed
still
carry.
working on mine.
I think my brother does too. My dad shoots too.
Mm.
But if someone breaks into your house,
So Jersey's a tough state.
No,
man.
I don't think that's true, bro.
Listen.
It's like a
so
grade.
how you articulate it. Really, that's really what it is.
well, if
Let's
someone
put it
breaks
what
in
it-
your house,
They're dying. If they break into my house,
Right.
especially if my kids are there. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. I'll go to
But
jail.
that's what scares
They're
me, though.
fucking
I'll be
dying.
honest,
There's
dude.
people out there like, well, they just needed food or they just needed something more than you. Well, they picked the wrong fucking house. They're
Yeah,
dying.
no, I agree. I just worry about shooting a gun in this house, in the household. Don't you?
Say that again.
Shooting a gun in your own household.
What about it?
Shooting a gun in your household when there's other people in the house.
Oh, sure, but I mean, you have to, have some concept of where
yeah,
people are.
no, for
You
sure.
can't just
But
go
I mean, like,
shooting willy
dude,
nilly.
We live pretty close to people.
Sure.
Don't you worry about that too?
Of course, it's not what I'm thinking. If you're putting your
I know,
shots
no, I get it.
where
man.
they're intended to go in center mass, they're probably not traveling much
Bro,
faster.
I don't know, man. It's tough
That's
to shoot somebody. You
that's
know
the
that.
least of my worries.
Yeah, I guess you worry about that afterwards, maybe.
But if someone's, did you see the video? I'll send it to you. There's a new one where a guy's knocking on the door, pretending to be some
and then-
utility worker,
yeah, and then he's banging,
and then
and the other guy
he's
starts
got a
kicking
buddy
the door, yeah,
hiding,
kicking the
and they
door.
both start kicking, and the
Yeah.
guy just starts shooting through the door. I don't think I would do that. I would let
dude,
them.
it was shooting right into the other neighbor's
Right.
house.
I wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
and I don't think that person got charged because I don't think anybody died, including the people that were intending to probably rob him, but maybe kill him.
Yeah.
But I certainly, once they breach my, I don't know what their intention is. I'm going to assume, especially if my kids are there, that it's some ill will towards me. You know what I mean, or my children, and they're not leaving there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I get it.
Their spirit is,
I get it, man.
you know. It's unfortunate we live in Jersey because you'd probably have one hell of a lawsuit on your hands. The best thing you could do is not say anything, get a lawyer. But if you lived in Texas, that's a stand your ground state. You know what I
No,
mean?
I still think the whole what do they call that? Something castle.
Oh yeah, the castle domain or whatever. You
Yeah.
have to retreat. To
I don't think it's true in Jersey.
Well, that's how it was explained to me. What do you think it is?
No, like motherfucker, I'm gonna take care of what I gotta take care of.
That's articulation. You have to feel like your life is in jeopardy or in danger.
Bro, but I mean, like the guy came, like the guy
to-
came into your domicile.
I don't think
with
any-
kids sleeping.
Yeah.
Any-
Dude, that's
God.
enough.
Here's what I'm saying.
Right?
I don't believe that any jury would find you guilty. I don't believe so. However, there'd be a hefty legal process to get there, where in Texas, probably not. You probably wouldn't even get charged.
Yeah.
And there's other states. I don't know all the stand your ground states, but there are
I mean, look,
many.
if it, God forbid.
How about
it
you as a
happens,
dad? You've got a little girl, beautiful little girl.
Scares the shit
Someone
out of me.
kicks and you're more towards, a metropolitan area than we are, I
am.
would say.
And it freaks me out.
Let's say someone kicks your door down.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't know, you don't have to answer this, but let's say you do own a firearm. Are you gonna wait and say, "Hey, bud, what can I get you? A fucking sandwich?" Or
No. I don't own a firearm.
Okay.
I have a lot of weapons stashed and around
Just
almost
nunchucks.
each room. But no, be honest with you, it freaks me out. I haven't fired a weapon since I was in Baghdad, and I know what it feels like to point at someone.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
pull.
Not a good feeling. I'm
No.
sure. I haven't done that, and I can't imagine what that feels like. I in no way want to end anybody's life. Good guy, bad guy, nothing. Just don't put my family in jeopardy.
Right,
You're
I
fine.
agree, and I feel like I'm not the right. Be honest, I just feel like I'm not the right guy to have a gun. Because
Give me some
I,
context on that. I'm so curious.
I'm not the right guy to own a gun.
Because of what you've.
It's not hard for me.
Oh, okay.
I've done it a lot.
Because you were in Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you can figure. Look at it like a cop's career, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to an old battle buddy of mine who was actually, in a couple tours. In an average police officer's career, take an inner city cop, right? How many times do they have to pull their weapon,
Not a lot.
point it at someone?
Not a
So you
lot.
actually see a human being right there, take it off,
Maybe in the city.
safe.
Yeah. Chicago, probably.
Like there's steps, and then actually put your finger and shoot to kill. Not getting too much into stuff. It's not it's not hard for me to do that.
Yeah.
It's like punching someone in the face a few times. After you do it, it's really not that big of a deal anymore. So I'm not the right guy to have a gun because if someone came into my house or whatever it was, or someone came to my house, or someone was on my front lawn, yeah, the extremes are not hard for me to go to, and I personally wouldn't want to go there, but of course I want to protect my family at any cost. But where I live, it's the houses are really close, man. And I know those bullets fly. I've seen them go through things, and it's true, like we were saying before. Like unless you're in those situations, man, where someone's like, you know, you gotta do that. Like I've been in those situations so many fucking times in a very condensed period of time. I've had so much experience in that situation, way more than a police officer, if you think about it. Way more.
Right. Yeah.
And you're still like this.
Yeah.
For someone who, like, I've talked to my brother and my dad about this a lot, because I was not raised with weapons. I think you were, right?
Yeah, of course.
And we were not.
Always strictly for the purpose of hunting.
Well, sure.
Never did I ever growing up. It wasn't until I came to Jersey that I'd be like, oh my God, maybe some crazy shit would happen where I'd have to actually defend my home or my family.
Yeah.
Never thought like that growing up. It was always, these are hunting rifles and target practice and things like that. Never had that mindset growing up whatsoever.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah, I talked to
Do you
my dad
have
and my brother
a,
about it a lot. And they...
Switching gears a little bit, do you have a different perspective on war now and serving and what that means? I mean, now that you're older and a little more, obviously a lot more educated, and do you have a different perspective on, let's call it, politicians' wars?
Yeah.
You do.
But like I was saying, another dude that I was with, committed suicide, and it's
yeah.
You don't want to, like, I don't want to get too heavy here, and I also don't want to go there too much, man, because then that other fucking side of me comes out. And
understood.
But I have to think it was for something.
Of course.
Even though I know there's things there that don't add up. But, my boy Duffy, this one, that one, Doltz, Timoteo, Carvel, like I saw these guys pass away.
Yeah.
And they're good dudes. And I knew them. I knew Duffy since I was 19. I used to party with him in Bricktown. He's a great guy, a friend of mine. And we went to war together, and he died. And I was right there. And it was like, to get these hard facts since I've come home, what I've done is voluntarily avoided it. I actually don't want to fucking know. Yeah. Because
suppressed.
I just have to think that it was there for a good reason. I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud to serve, know?
In no way was I sort of trying to tarnish that in any way.
No,
I'm just saying,
I know, man.
Perspective is everything, right?
Hey, man, I love that.
As we get older,
right there.
That's
like,
Jesse, who's got a similar story to you, as you know.
Yeah.
He's got like what 5, 6 guys tattooed on his back that were his buddies that he lost over there. He saw a lot, man. He's fully disabled vet. He's got TBI but doesn't talk about it often. You know what I mean? I think he used to talk about it more than he does now, and I think he deals in ways that he has to. And for a while, he was medicating himself, and that wasn't the answer, obviously. And now he's very very spiritual now, and I think that helps him in many ways with a lot of things, And he finds his adrenaline junkie side through skydiving.
Yeah, I noticed that, man. Yeah. I actually dove into this business. What I do.
Yeah,
that was my.
You found something.
Yeah,
right.
I had to. There's just too much just to sit there and.
When you came in, you said, "Is that a K bar?" That was our friend Rory, who was one of our early guests. Rory Hamill. Good job on the last name, buddy. Rory Hamill, who was one of our early guests on here, great guy.
Yeah.
He brought a K bar knife in for us, and shortly thereafter, I would say within a year. And Frankie and I have our own theories on why. We think it had a lot to do with not being able to get out and socialize and things like that because of COVID, but he took his own life.
He took his own life.
Very sad.
Man.
Very sad.
And what's crazy is he was on the couch talking about how he put a gun in his mouth and that now he's gotten past it and this and that. And it wasn't much long after.
Damn.
But that was part of his healing. Remember he was saying,
talking about
what are you doing now, Rory? He was doing a lot of, talking to schools and outreach stuff. Talking to police.
And then COVID happened and he wasn't allowed to go
Wasn't allowed to do that. And that's our own personal theory. We don't know that to be true, but it was a father, and
3 kids, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's weird things that Man.
Now, how long after did you meet your wife after serving?
Met her in L.A., right? Or no?
Met her in L.A.
Yeah.
I got out in the beginning of 2005. I met Amanda when I was in L.A. in 2012.
Wow. Okay, so.
Yeah, so time had passed. Yeah. It's man, it's you know what it's like? It's literally like a whole other hidden side of you. It's literally like here's Kevin Internado right here, right? But there's like a whole other Kevin
I see
right
you
there.
battling internally. Talking
Yeah,
about
because
this. I see it.
it's like hard to just like drop a seed.
Yep.
Because there's so much behind it, you know?
Sure. That we'll never know. You could tell it. But
Yeah.
we weren't.
You know,
You'd have to be
it's-
there. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I'm proud of it, and I know that the fellas I serve with are proud too. And there's a side of me that just wishes it never fucking happened. I don't want to start going too much in it, but I just really wish it never fucking happened because it just went and just totally threw me this way. And then it's like this battle to come back, but you're not coming back to the same guy,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And to this day, it's been almost 20 years, right? 20 fucking years.
Wow.
And I just started talking to a psychologist 6 months ago.
About kind of all the shit you dealt with.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how much I forgot because of the he's explaining things to me. I thought I was dealing with it, but it turns out I was just kind of more using it, and
Well, I'm using it
in a positive
good
way,
way,
you know, to get it out. But it's just I didn't realize this how deep the well went, and there was a lot of it's almost like I'd never been in a car accident before, knock on wood, you know? I know people that have been in pretty crazy car accidents, and they remember it for the rest of their life, right? Over there, you're in the craziest
car accident.
craziest fucking situations on a Tuesday. And then it happens again Thursday. And then it happens again Sunday. And then it happens again Monday. And it happens again. It happens again. So what happens is you start forgetting. You start blocking out. So when I'm talking to this fella who's been
surviving.
great. What's that?
Part of surviving.
Yes, it is. And, you know, as an actor, I always took pride in kind of knowing myself pretty good. It's really just, understanding yourself and using yourself to play certain roles and whatnot. But I never went there. I just didn't go there. At least I didn't think I did. But there's a lot of stuff that he's got me talking about, and one thing leads to another, and I'm like, oh God, I remember this happened. I remember this happened. I remember this, and what a well. I just forgot.
Do you think it's beneficial you talking about it?
It's not fun. Maybe in the long run it is. But for the moment, it's been a pretty tumultuous time because you got to go talk to somebody and then shake it off, get back in the car, deal with traffic, go home and see your 3-year-old.
It's incredibly tough.
You know,
I was never in anything that traumatic, so I'm not speaking from experience, but I have seen a therapist. That's a complete stranger, and you're so opening up to that person. Why? Because they have a plaque on the wall. It's such a foreign thing to me. It took me a while to get a rapport.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine in a position where somebody has actually been through some serious trauma. You know what I mean?
I was nervous too.
Yeah.
I can't equate. I mean, I guess my parents got divorced. They maybe spoke to someone. You know.
Your parents are divorced?
They were. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, like when I was a kid. My stepfather's the one that owns the plumbing company.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Big Frank.
Big Frank. Yeah. So like, where was I going with this? But like, you know, I
Trauma? Talking about trauma?
Yeah, talking about trauma. Yeah.
Well, not trusting probably your. I'm guessing. I don't know your situation, but were you sent to see one as a young child?
As a young
Oh, you
kid,
were?
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
yeah.
injected into that, and it's not your choice, and you have to
Yeah,
build
had to
this
talk about it,
rapport
yeah,
and
yeah,
trust
yeah,
with.
yeah,
Is that where you were going? I'm just.
Yeah,
guessing.
I mean, I guess you know, but again, speaking about
Show
it,
me
I
on
guess
the
makes
doll.
it makes it easier, all right? I would imagine.
Not always, I don't think.
Or it brings up bad
Yeah.
emotions.
There are
but
some
then
people-
but bring up those bad emotions lets you address them now, right? I guess.
Yeah, I found that I was when the shit was coming out, because I haven't. Not only have I not talked about these things, I haven't thought of it. I literally haven't thought of it. Like I'd say something,
suppress it. Yeah.
yeah, and
a
I
lot of
led to
people-
this, and I'm like, oh my god. And there's this one time when I was here, and then this guy popped off, and I popped, and we grabbed him up, and there's his guts around, like all this crazy shit. So what happened was, to a point, you know, yeah, you're in like this room with someone that you don't know. That was kind of liberating because I'm like, I won't be judged.
Yeah.
But I started saying things that I felt like I was going to be incriminated. Bad.
Well, incriminated for stuff that you went through.
I mean, if you think about it, man, it's
Stuff
like
that, again, I'm trying just to figure out what you mean. Stuff that you, as a civilian over here, you could never do, but over there, it was sort of the
survival.
life, and you're incriminated. I'm assuming you mean like you can't. If you did this in your civilian life here, it would never. You couldn't talk about it because it'd be illegal, right? Is that what you mean? I'm trying to follow you, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think no normal person will blame you for being a savage in war times. How could anybody do that?
I'm alive.
You know what I
my
mean?
buddies are
Yeah.
alive, you know? So it's just circumstantial, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone punches you in the face, you punch him back. Someone pushes you, push him back. Someone fires at you,
I mean,
fire
dude,
back.
you're trying to survive. You're trying to get home to your family at that moment, right?
But there's a point over there, and it's funny because in my squad, I had a squad of 10 dudes. There was everyone has their own experience. Everyone has like their own personal experience within that. There was one guy in my squad who never even fired his weapon once. It's just like timing.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
No,
not that.
No,
you know,
he's a
he
great
just-
dude. He's a cop in Bloomfield.
Just didn't happen.
Didn't have him in his sights, you know. Just wasn't in the rear vehicle. He was in the front. Wasn't on that side of the. Thanks, buddy. Wasn't on that side of the. You know, when we were on top of the Iraqi police station defending it, he wasn't on that side where we were getting hit.
Yeah.
Me, I was getting ammo every week. You know, I was shooting. You know, I had a 203, so I was a M16 with a grenade launcher in the bottom. Yeah, twice I was shooting.
You ever throw one of them grenade launchers?
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
yeah. We had 50
That was
cal
that
Smart
was my
19s.
gun in Call of Duty. There was a and then. Right?
We had a Mark 19, man. Mark 19 is a machine gun grenade launcher.
Get out.
Yeah. So that's like thoop, 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 thoop. And then you just wait. And it's like
Pop, 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 pop,
pop,
pop.
pop, pop. Yeah. But yeah, I was shooting loom rounds at people because I ran out of grenades. I mean, it was just insane.
Boom rounds?
Loom, when you shoot them up in the air at nighttime and it lights up the sky.
Yeah.
Shooting smoke.
Yep.
We were pinned down. It was pretty heavy shit. And I didn't realize how heavy that tour was that I was in until speaking with this guy. And he's like, I've been doing this for like 15 years. He's like, this is easily up there with some of the heaviest shit I've heard. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. But yeah, when I was saying like, you know, you feel like I might be incriminated or whatever, because there's nothing normal about it.
Sure.
There's just, it's hard to explain, but to come home from that.
Something that you would only ever experience in the time of war. Man,
Without a doubt.
Humans aren't supposed to
Without
experience
a doubt.
that. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I got to be friendly with the gentleman named Derek Carver online, through social media, just common interest, I guess. And he's so sporadic and such a random dude. At the time, I think he was living in Maryland, maybe, I forget where, Delaware, I forget. Anyway, he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, bro, let's hang." I was like, "Well, next weekend I'm driving up to Maine." He's like, "I'm in. I'm going." Never met this dude before. I was a fan because he served. He's amputee, missing a leg, and it's funny. He told me guys that lose their leg below the knee, they call them paper cut dudes, and then guys that lose it above the knee because it's so much. You're so much more mobile if you lose it below. He's above, but anyway, he's got a crazy story with that. So he drove to Jersey, spent a few hours together, jumped in my truck, and drove 10 hours to Maine. Spent the weekend up there with this dude that I never met.
That was a risk, man.
He's gonna.
Roger
I'd be like,
Fudge,
whoa,
I
dude,
tell you
I'd have
what.
that 9 right
He's
here.
gonna make some gay
I
jokes.
tell you what.
It's his only go-to is gay humor. But anyway,
He was hoping he just was okay down below.
he's a
He didn't lose everything. He didn't lose everything Roger was concerned with.
He's not Lieutenant Dan. He's a very, very interesting dude, and I spent a lot of time talking to him, and he did not want to talk about his experience over there. You know what I mean?
Really?
I mean, how do you not ask a guy tell me the story about how you lost your leg. Of course, I asked in a roundabout way. I'm sure I didn't just say it bluntly like that. And he did tell me, but you know, he didn't. He said, "Look, I haven't really told this story." You know what I mean? And just a very, very interesting dude. But you can clearly see, you know, there's a lot of trauma there, and he's got some interesting ways to cope. And you know, he's a big shroom guy, and you know, he copes in his own ways. But he's coming on the podcast at some point. We've talked 1,000 times, but he's living in Texas now, doing his own thing, doing really well. But extremely interesting guy. If you don't follow him on Instagram, definitely give this guy a follow.
Okay. I went to Walter Reed with a bunch of fighters
I was there.
back in
really,
2010, 11, 12, something like that. I can't remember dates anymore. But yeah, that was heavy.
Yeah, I was there.
I can't imagine.
I was at Walter Reed. And I was there when I came back because I broke my leg. That's how I got out. That's how I got out of overseas. And it wasn't from all the times I had to jump off rooftops and do all this kind of shit. I broke my leg actually wrestling with a dude that was on base with me, another battle buddy.
Get out of here.
Yeah, because we weren't sleeping. We were so wired. We were like, we couldn't sleep, you know. 48 hours was nothing. Before you know it, 72 hours, like missions we were going on. We had to stay awake, so we couldn't sleep. Someone got a volleyball net, playing volleyball. Who broke his ankle? They made us stop that. Got basketball net. Someone broke his ankle. We started boxing. Who broke his jaw? I started wrestling. I break my leg. So they were like giving us things to do, you know. It was like a freak thing. They flew me to Germany. I thought I was going to Germany to get surgery, and I'd go right back. I was shocked. They told me in Germany I was going home. I was like, I'm not going home. They're like, yeah, you are. I was like, no, I'm not. And they made me go back home. But I went to Walter Reed, so I got my surgery there. And when I got there, they were not ready for the amount of injuries. Like, they just weren't ready for it. I mean, I saw dudes get blown up in Chow Hall. I saw a first sergeant get blown up right in front of me, taking a shit in a fucking porta-john, leg flying out. I mean, it was just like nothing. There were so many injuries that the military is not equipped to house them and take care of that. Right. Walter Reed was like back in end of 04, 05 was like overrun. Like overrun. There were soldiers that could barely wipe themselves because Walter Reed was a hospital. I mean, a hotel, right?
No,
if I remember.
Hospital.
Right, the hospital. But there was there was hotels there that they put us up in.
Yeah.
And we had to be responsible for getting ourselves to the hospital. There was no like help.
What?
So picture a hotel with rows and rows and rows of rooms with fucked up soldiers from blasts and this and that, titanium rods, like crawling and helping, soldiers helping each other get to the elevators, go down, hobble across the street. Wow. Dude, it was mayhem.
Like that became a strategy. I don't know where, at what point in our history, but it became a strategy that maiming and injuring is actually more effective than killing, right?
That's what the M16 is designed for.
Yeah, you actually not only take that soldier out of the fight, but you take
two people out,
to carry him up, a medic, you know, like the whole 9 yards. So you really
the round of the M16 is meant to tumble once it enters your body. It's not to go straight through.
It's a 2.23 round or 5. Yeah. The NATO round, I think, is a 5.56.
5.56. Yeah.
5.56. Yeah.
So you pop them. The round goes, and when we were doing that,
it's a very fast trajectory bullet, and it's not a very big.
Right, it's pretty thin.
So
casing,
I think it
tumbles and crushes.
Oh, really? I thought it went through very, very, very quickly, but no.
16, no. It's it comes in, it crushes. People get like broken bones from it or something, or it'll pop out somewhere else like a 9. And we were instructed to, we're instructed, never happened, but you wait. So if you pop somebody and they're laying in the street wherever it is, you just wait
till their buddies come out to get them.
Buddies come out and then sink in that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, war is god awful.
Yeah.
I don't
Long
know.
cry from
war. I've never served, but I definitely.
What is it good for?
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
You know, I tell you what, man. I think the military is a great life. The military as a whole. Take war out of it.
I agree, but
I think there's just because it's almost like wrestling in college. It teaches you discipline, sacrifice, time management. Obviously, your life is on the line. A lot different than college wrestling.
If it happens, yeah. You know what I mean? But you get paid. It promotes physical fitness, and it's like one of the only jobs, man. The better you want to do, they embrace it, and you can. You want to learn more? They'll send you to school. You know what I mean? Like you can learn more. There's so much room to grow in the military. Sure. I thought it was great. I chose to go guard because I wanted to live my life too. I was working with my dad, you know. But yeah, I was in. My brother was a drill sergeant, and we loved it.
Yeah.
We loved it. Probably should have stayed in. I would have had a pension by now.
There's absolutely benefits to it, no question about it. But it's just that as you get older and you educate yourself on things, and you start seeing war become profitable for people, then it becomes then you wonder
military-industrial complex.
The value of human life is not valuable for all humans. You know what I mean? And that's scary. It's a very scary world we live in now.
Yeah. When I was there, it was early. So we didn't have insurgents back then. We didn't know what an insurgent was. There was radicals from each area. So we were in a ghetto in Baghdad called Sadr City. So we were dealing with this army called the Mahdi Army. They were just a bunch of of fucking maniacs, bunch of rebels. Yeah, they got together and banded together and was just going after us all the time. But it's not like they wore uniforms. Like you couldn't tell who was who, what was what. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was a lot of confusion and mayhem. And I'm sure Jesse could say it was very confusing and maniacal. It really was. But that's a whole other can of worms and a few beers and shit. When I came back, I was really off, and I got up with my buddies one night. Little while after, and I don't know how it came up, but I was just telling something that happened over there. I was like, this happened, and we ran out. I was like, oh, it's crazy because bop, bop, bop. And then I got shot at, and I popped him, and I saw his fucking eyeball fly out, and then this and that, bop, bop, bop. I remember when I was done, everyone's just looking at me. Really weird,
Because who can relate to that?
Right. And I was thinking I was just telling a story about a fight. It was as easy as that. Yeah. And I didn't understand what I was talking about was so heavy and severe and distant, And that's when that was the moment where I was like, I cut it off.
Empathy's a funny thing, man. Even though they're the enemy, your mind's gotta wonder, that was a life, and what would they have done? What could they have done? But,
I mean, I don't know. I've never been in that.
I would look at it. I think
better them than me.
Right. The override would always be they would have taken my life. Right. That's always got to be the override, I would think.
Yeah. The tough part is when you get to a certain point over there and you're kind of robotic, and you make a decision a lot faster than you would have when you first were in your tour. And it may not even have gotten to the point where there was a hostile, imminent danger, and you just took initiative and took care of it before it happened. Yeah. That's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a wild thing.
Well, we got pretty morbid there and pretty raw. You guys, what do you want?
No, it's a bad place.
Want to talk about abortion now?
No, but it's a bad place to be. But better than being in a box.
But better than being in a box.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But better than being in a box, man.
I mean,
yeah. Yep. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, we got pretty heavy there, guys.
Yeah.
War always does that. War talk.
Yeah.
Get it going.
A few beers.
Yeah.
Were you ever? Did you ever think about at all enlisting or? I remember.
I was so driven towards wrestling.
Yeah.
And I knew that wasn't part of it. But I remember when 9/11 did happen.
Same.
I remember Kurt was my buddy was he was in the National Guard. I'm like, oh.
Out of where? Tom's River?
He's a Tom's River guy.
Kurt what?
Wayner.
Wehner?
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's in for a little bit.
Kurt the Flirt? You don't know Kurt the Flirt?
He might have been my brother. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's a character, but good friend of mine. When he was in, I was like, oh, I can't let my dude go, But obviously I wanted to win a national title. You know what I mean?
I remember a recruiter coming to my high school, and I knew him because he was an older student that had gone to my high school, and he was like a cool kid, and he enlisted in the military, and then he came back, and he was part of the recruiting program, and I had a moment where I was like, but I was kind of just.
I always say two things.
I was done telling the story.
I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know you know. You went. You're typical. I thought you were done. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
All right. No worries, buddy. No worries. It's your show. It's your show.
Don't you always? I always think the two things that I say I want to know what it's like, but I don't really want to know what it's like. I want to know what it's like to be in jail, to serve time in jail.
Yeah.
And also serve time in the military.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar. in a way, right? A little bit.
I think your bravado gets tested very early in both of those situations, and there's a lot of dudes that talk the talk but can't walk the walk.
Yeah,
And you're
no,
gonna find out very quickly.
Yeah, and
Especially in jail,
I'm
bro.
glad I guess I didn't have to take either of those routes.
At least you get basic training.
But it would be
before you
cool
go.
if you could do like a virtual reality, like, let me see it for a fucking couple hours.
Speaking of
You know what I
prison,
mean?
Isn't there shows like that shit when guys go undercover?
yeah,
and they go into
60
prison
days
stuff?
in or
Yeah,
whatever it's
yeah,
called.
yeah.
But speaking of that, you guys hear about Larry Nasser?
Who's that?
The gym.
He was the
doctor?
Olympian doctor who touched and molested
To play
literally like hundreds of girls. The guy's
What
an
a
absolute
fucker.
disgrace
How
pig.
does that even
He
get?
just-
How
they
does it
just-
even get to 100 girls
they
after
just-
fucking 3? How does it get to 100?
I don't know.
You know what
I don't know
mean?
that it was
You know what I
100,
mean,
but
though?
it was a lot.
No,
It was a lot.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I mean, a huge trial, right? But he
Yeah.
just got unalived in prison, and there's a special
did he?
place for that where that guy went. Yeah. Fuck that dude. Yep.
Yeah, they take care of
Traumatized.
their own there.
That's like
That's crazy. Though. Like,
generations
even like
of
listen,
trauma.
these the scum of the earth have a place for the scum of the earth.
There's a
You know what I
hierarchy.
mean? Yeah.
Even in prison,
Yeah.
there's a hierarchy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're at the bottom of the barrel. And there's a lot of fucking, what do they call them? They call them like Skinners or something. There's a lot of them in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinners? What was that?
I forget. They got a nickname. No, it's not Skinners. What the fuck do they call them? Chomos.
What does that mean?
Child molesters. Child molesters, yeah.
Chomos,
They
man.
call you a chomo in prison.
They don't last long, though.
They
in
never
there.
last
get,
long.
Dude,
They never last
those
long.
guys get tooled and schooled in prison, man, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Frankie,
he
I'm-
just got taken out.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, prison, that'd be interesting, man. That would...
How do you think you do, Frankie? I mean, listen, and I know you're going to say, I don't give a fuck, because you don't. I know you are. You're tough as nails. I'm a big dude, but
No.
you're not the biggest dude. You think you'd still fare well in prison? You think it's going to be all one?
I have
You
no-
think it's all going to
honest-
be one-on-one fights in there?
I honestly don't know what it's like at all,
Yeah.
to be honest. So to speculate, I wouldn't know.
The girls reminded you a few weeks ago, your feet don't even touch the floor.
Yeah.
Little, what they call it.
What do they call them?
It was great, bro. I was dying. I was screenshotting and sending.
You know why? You know why they say that though? Because if you look at a screenshot of me and Roger engulfs the fucking couch.
You can't just take criticism. He's got to
the
turn it around on me and call me fat. You see
He
how
engulfs the couch. His ass eats the couch. You know what I mean?
What did they say? What did they call you? The little guy or something? Little tyke.
No, I don't think so.
That's great.
Should have made that vid, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Oh yeah.
I think that you just have that mindset, and you should. You're fucking toughest dude I know. That no matter
No,
where,
I don't know
you're
how it
gonna
would
be all right.
I don't know how it would be. Like
but prison-
they say in prison was that the movie
I don't
with
think
Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Let me go after the biggest dude. Right? Yeah, I would just keep my fucking mouth shut.
But,
But I ain't letting no one gonna punk you. I think that's what it is,
Yeah.
right?
There's gonna be big dudes in there. 6'5" dude comes. You can fight that dude. I believe you beat that dude. But I don't think it's gonna happen like that. They're gonna shank you from behind.
Well,
But I think you're gonna be one of the cool guys. You're gonna be in there for like fucking beating some dude to death, and you're gonna be part of the hierarchy. You're not gonna be in there for some shit that you're looked down on. You know what I mean?
hopefully I'm not in there at all.
I know, but I'm saying
I thought about that, too.
you're not gonna do some scumbaggy shit.
Yeah,
to get
no.
in
The
there.
only way I would ever be in jail is if I got someone that did something to my family. That's
Yeah.
really the
Yeah.
only way.
Well, you did say you haven't paid taxes in the last 10 years. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
white collar crime.
I think I'd rather be in a solitary confinement. Ultimately, I think I'd be
I'm good
comfortable
alone.
there.
I'm good alone.
Yeah,
Are you
me
good
too.
alone?
Yeah,
No way.
I'm good alone.
I'm very
Not
comfortable
me.
alone.
No, you don't like being alone? I don't mind it.
I mean, listen, I'm okay in my own skin.
I don't
for
mind
sure.
being alone, bro.
I love traveling alone like that. I do because
Yeah.
I kind of lost in a crowd type thing. You know what I mean? Especially when you travel overseas. Not that I'm not really. I don't really get noticed that often, but overseas you barely get noticed, and you're totally traveling. Like you're alone in a crowd. I do like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a hermit, but I'm good with alone time. Definitely, totally comfortable.
I don't know,
I have
man.
friends, some of my
24/7,
some of
bro.
my buddy friends that cannot not be in a relationship. They cannot be. They're miserable.
Yeah, I know dudes like that.
I don't get that.
I've been in a relationship for a pretty long time, bro.
Yeah, well, I guess you
When
I
you
guess
were
I guess you wouldn't know it as like
Since we were 19.
Oh, wow. You go that far back.
they went to kindergarten together, but they didn't start dating until
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. Real cool.
Now say love you, Renee.
Oh,
now
she
say
knows.
love you,
Okay,
Renee.
okay. She don't listen. So.
Tell her to listen. We'll double our podcast listeners.
Oh man.
Oh, well, normally I would say what else, Kev? What's in the future? But I guess everything's on hold right now, right? I mean, literally.
But I mean, you have things in the fire. You got some irons in the fire, no?
I do. I'm casting a few projects that are on hold, and then I'm writing and producing a couple other ones too. So I should be working hopefully before the strike is over. Hopefully, we'll see. And then once it's over, all bets are off. Just gonna hit the ground running. Yeah. And that's that, man. Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like you've always found a way to reinvent yourself no matter what. So
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, man.
yeah, buddy.
You guys too.
You
Appreciate
can
it.
start writing Bastard Son too.
Yeah.
There you go.
I should write. You know what? You know what's gonna happen? I can't, man.
Why?
I can't write it because I don't know what it's like getting ready for a fight, but I'm assuming you're obsessed.
You need some feedback from this one?
What's that?
You need some feedback from this one first? or
No, not feedback. I mean, the sales will warrant whether it's worth doing.
Right.
But when I get involved in anything creative, I don't know how to turn off the obsession. So I almost kind of like wander until I find something, and it's like
Consumes you. Yeah.
and then who suffers for it? Amanda suffers for it. Gemma does.
Yeah.
I don't talk to my parents as much. Like I just kind of go. So I know that if I go, head first into the sequel, because I already know the hook. I literally didn't start writing yet because I know what's gonna happen.
Right.
We're gonna just
Lock yourself in the basement.
Yeah, the beard's gonna happen, and that's what I do, man.
Amanda, throw
I don't
me
talk
down
to
a
anybody.
cheeseburger.
Yeah. I said medium rare. Long fingernails, long
Get
hair.
overcooked the meat defeats the purpose. Right?
But I get like pasta instead of cheeseburgers. It's all Italian food. But yeah, that's what would happen, and it would actually fuck everything up because I would focus on that and I would
Sure.
drop off
Makes sense. Makes
other
sense.
stuff. But I love
sense.
it. That's
Yeah.
that's my crack, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully that does happen.
Lock
Hopefully it
yourself that
happens.
you come out with a big long beard. And
Yeah, I'll knock on your door. I'm like, Frankie, I got the script in hand.
withered away.
Yeah, I'm in a bathrobe and boxes.
Chest hair bulging out of the top of your shirt. Like,
We got
need a
it.
shower and a razor.
But we need a banger for two.
Yeah.
By banger, I mean
Do I get to beat poor people up?
you are definitely part of the Sons in two, man.
Sweet.
You're gonna get raped though.
You're gonna get raped.
I'm in. I'm your guy.
We need another boss. We need someone who's been in my mind since day one. We need I'm just gonna say it. I really want Chaz Palminteri. Like that's the goal. And I'll tell you guys the story, not publicly to give it away, but after this I'll tell you what the hook is and how it goes. But that's I mean, he grew up, idolizing the guy and all the work and everything,
You know who I saw that's trying to run for some of this SAG stuff? That's what I see new. I see people trying to run.
Yeah.
Right, Davi.
Yeah, Robert. And that he was working with Cernio.
Yeah.
Robert Davi, yeah.
Who's the head of SAG? It's a woman,
Fran
right?
Drescher.
Fran Drescher. That's
nanny.
right.
That's
yeah,
like
the
fucking
nanny, yeah.
Fran.
Yeah, that's her.
Holy
The
shit.
voice, yeah.
That's her, yeah. Doing her thing. So hopefully they figure that shit out.
You guys brought up UPS earlier. Who I think is their strike over or are they still going? They were just striking, but it was.
Were
It's not for I was talking to my buddies like breaking his balls. I was like, you guys make enough money. He's like, not really affecting us. There's a couple little things we get out of it, but it's the part-time guys. They get like
really?
$12 an hour. We're going to bat for them. That's what they were really going to bat for, is the guys that make like $12 an hour. The guys that like at Christmas time that sit on the side of the car or that fill in and maybe get 20, 30 hours a week. They get paid peanuts compared to what the main guys get
is that
paid.
like how
Sorry,
you
the
start
main
out?
guys
You got to
care.
start part-time and work your way up?
I don't know why, but he explained it as we're doing an honorable thing here. It's kind of how he explained it. I'm not sure why they care. Maybe they have a heart, unlike you, scumbag. I'm starving over there. Why don't you give me some of your millions?
If I had millions, buddy,
You
I'd
said you're
give you
25
some.
years in with the union?
25, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When are you going to...
Yeah, well, it's. I wish it was that way. The first year I started with the union, they did away with our pension. They just did away. It was losing too much money.
Oh,
it was
man.
bleeding out. So they gave it to us in pay, and we invested ourselves.
okay.
So you make your own retirement essentially. You know what I
right.
mean? So yeah.
So Roger's got nothing.
Yeah, I'm broke. I watch a lot of porn. I got a lot of porn subscriptions. All that went right into porn.
Oh, shit. 25, but it's a union.
It's a union. Yeah.
It's odd,
Yeah.
man.
Teamsters. Yeah.
That's 'cause people
biggest
are living
union
longer,
in
right? Isn't that the
United
reason
States.
why pensions and shit are getting fucked up?
A lot of places
'Cause when
are
it
doing
shit
away.
started,
I
everyone
just
signed at
saw.
60.
I
Now
just
it's
saw a big trucking company, maybe Yellow. I forget the name of it. Literally, guys were there, similar to my story, but I was only there like a year, and they did away with it, so I never even really got to see it. But I just saw. I think it's Yellow. Maybe I have that wrong. Can you look that up?
Yellow bus.
No, it's a big trucking company that you would have heard of. Literally, guys were there like 20 years, 25 years, and they fucking ishnade
Shit canned everybody?
their pension. No, their pension.
Wow.
Isn't that
Just
crazy?
got- yeah.
But
How
how
can
is
they
that
just do
legal? Like
The money's not there. The money's not there. How do you create it?
I know, but I'm saying though, like you.
Social Security probably ain't going to be there when
I
you
know,
get there.
but I know, but people get these jobs because of the pension. That's part of
Right.
the
That's
the
why
reason
I
why
took
they
it.
get right,
One of the reasons. I
But
did.
weren't the pensions
Also, it was
being-
all I knew. That's what I did for my dad. So
But weren't the pensions being paid into every year as it was going on?
before I got there, I mean, yes.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know how long it was happening for, but
The company
year
you're
I
talking
started.
about. The company you're talking about.
Yeah, of course. But obviously, it's mismanaged money. They were stealing. They were robbing from Paul to pay Peter.
Yeah.
Is what they were doing. And it was a major trucking company that I've heard of. You know, I'm sure they're done and they'll be out. But
Shit.
you know, the drivers were losing their mind because
Paul mad?
Paul's pissed.
Okay.
Paul's fucking pissed. He's going to prison soon. He's killing Peter.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying Social Security probably would even be.
I've heard that for years. Like,
Yeah.
forget
That's what
Social
everybody's
Security.
been saying
And
that though.
I
Like,
know.
that's what I wonder. Is that another fucking propaganda point that everybody
Listen,
brings up?
even if it's not, let's say it's not. If you're counting on Social Security,
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Right.
You got to cut.
Well, do you hear people? I mean, that's what I hear, that there's people that have student loans.
Shouldn't say you're
that-
an idiot because there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people that literally.
There's a lot of idiots, yes, Robert.
Well, that rely on it. Older people that, But
no, but I'm saying though, they say there are people out there that have college loans out, and they're taking taking percentage of their Social Security to pay for their college loans.
still. Like,
Yes.
Really. They
Yes.
go to college when they were 47.
No. What I'm saying, they just don't pay it off, so they got to like take their.
Wasn't
Social
there a
Security.
minimum you have to pay? I mean, you
You have to pay all of it.
No, I'm saying, but you can't not. You saying like they deferred it until they got older? Or?
No, they deferred it. They just because they probably never paid it. So then when they got some Social Security,
what
they
I'm-
start taking it from.
But I'm saying I didn't know you could just not pay it. I thought you had to pay it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I don't know. I
I
wonder
thought
how
they
that's
would-
working out. Yeah, but
They
that's
would
what I
literally
hear.
like garnish your wages and shit.
Yeah,
if
they
you
garnish
didn't-
your wages, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing that. People Social Security.
Gotcha.
Well, do you guys hear about that Google shit? Like the Google courses that count just as much as college credits when people are looking to hire for jobs and stuff?
No.
What? Wait, they're called Google.
They're
So
Google
you don't need a college.
classes, Google courses. And instead of going to college, you can essentially get, I don't know if it's a degree, I never looked into it too much more than this, but you can go take courses on Google. And you end up with the same education and requirements needed to go to jobs
Really?
as kids take when they go to college, yeah. For like,
Much cheaper
dude,
or a fraction.
fraction of a fraction.
I think if you're
Fraction.
a kid, graduating high school and you don't know what you want, and you're just like your parents are telling you have to go, you're silly. Go work for a year and
Yeah.
figure out what you want. To go in and not have a
I'll be honest,
designated
man.
major and not.
I'm
But,
telling
yeah,
my-
but you're an athlete. You can't compare to you. You're going to
No, I'm
compare
telling
you.
my kids though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're not going to college for a specialty
Right.
or a sport,
Don't go.
maybe a trade's better.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Honestly.
100%.
I joined when you were talking about the recruiters in the high schools and stuff like that. That's when I joined senior year in Howell. They were all in the hallway and stuff.
I knew the guy, and he was like the cool guy, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
shit, he looks, looks pretty
He
spiffy.
was all squared away,
he's all
right?
squared away. I was like, cool to look like that, but I didn't go. Everybody served in my family except for me. I'm the bitch of the family, apparently. But
Yes.
yeah. No, I just went into the family business. My sister was in the reserves.
Oh, was she?
My sister
Your
was in the
sister's
army.
tougher than him.
She is. She could kick my ass. She legitimately. I don't
She's
know.
more hung too.
That's not what your sister said.
I'm just playing, Raj.
Oh shit, man. That would have been decent though. Staying in. If I stayed in, I would have got a pension at 38.
Yeah.
Okay.
38, dude. I would have had a 20-year pension because I joined when I was 18.
What union?
No, with Guard.
Oh, the
Tom's
Guard.
River
Yeah,
National
yeah,
Guard.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
in I was going to Whitesville, 1200 Whitesville Road, whatever it was, every, Saturday and Sunday.
Derek, you know Derek. He's been in the reserves forever.
DeLima.
DeLima, yeah, he's been in forever.
Wayner rings a bell, though. I got to ask my brother. Because I was a mechanic. My brother was field artillery.
Okay, yeah. He was in for a short time, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did he get the boot?
No, he got honorable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You somewhat enjoyed it?
Not at first because it was like a new faction of friends, and I had my boys in Howell, so I was like, I'm just gonna do this. But after like 3 years, started getting really tight with everybody, and yeah, till this day, man. Even though we don't talk a lot or whatever, I still love and miss those guys. Yeah,
it's a tough age, 18, right? I mean, for a lot of kids, I was probably an immature 18-year-old, didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just assumed I'd go into the family business, and my dad owned an oil company in Maine. I just was like, oh shit, I was already working for him in high school anyway. I was like, I'll just continue doing that. Maybe one day this will all be mine, was kind of my mindset. And I was kind of just taking a lackadaisical approach to it. Didn't go to college because I knew I'd spend. My parents weren't just like, we'll pay for this for you. They were never like that, ever.
Right.
My first car I had to pay for because I wanted a nice car and I didn't want my grandfather's piece of shit. My parents were like very like, you want something, go fucking work for it. You know what I mean? So I worked for my dad, but I was still kind of like lost and party mode and just hanging out with my friends. I was a hard worker. I always got up every day. My dad was never going to let me sleep in, but didn't really have motivation in life to know where I want to go. So I remember one day I was at work and my dad said to me, he had a buddy that worked in Maine because the seafood industry is obviously huge in Maine, who had gone out to Alaska and started his own seafood company. And he was like, I was just talking to Jim. You want a job working on a boat in Alaska? And I was that sounds interesting. I was 18. I graduated in 93, June of 93, and this is like February of 94. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. You know what I mean? Next thing I know, I got to go take a physical. Next thing I know, I got a plane ticket booked to Seattle, Washington, where they keep a lot of the boats stay in the harbor in Seattle, Washington. I guess it's a lot cheaper to keep them there, and then they go up through the inside passage to Dutch Harbor, and they start fishing, in the Bering Sea there, like around the Aleutian Islands. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Next thing I know, I'm on a plane headed to Seattle. We loaded the boat up with all the goods, and I went out fishing in the Bering Sea for pollock was the first season. Bro, I was out in the Bering Sea for 47 fucking days.
Wow.
Straight.
18 years old?
18 years old.
Wow.
47 days straight.
Was there any girls on that boat?
2. They were men, though.
Yes, I say.
So, like, what do you do 47 days?
She jerk off in the shower. I mean, whatever you got to do, I guess. But
Wow.
I was the youngest guy on the boat.
Was Jim washing your back?
Probably. You knew it was coming, right? You knew it was coming. I was probably the youngest guy on the boat by like 20 years. Like literally, it was all older dudes on there, and
they like that young guy.
Yeah. I was very busy, man.
No hair down there yet.
I left that boat a man. I left the boat a man. But anyway, made a lot of money. Came home, and I was like, fuck. And that's where I was like, fuck, I'll do whatever. If I did that, I could do whatever,
Wow.
So I did another trip after that, and then it was the trips were sparse. They were like every 3 months, so you had a lot of off time. So made great money, but then you have all this off time, you spend it. You know what I mean? So I was like, I might as well just work for my dad. And then I ended up parents got divorced, ended up moving to Jersey. So stayed in the same industry down here, but it was cool working in Alaska. It was very cool.
Wow, man.
18 years old, yeah. So that was my passage to manhood, I guess, if you will.
What brought you to Jersey?
Parents got divorced. My mother's from Glen Rock up by you originally, but she had relocated after they were married 26 years. She moved back to Toms River because her parents had relocated to Toms River, and she stayed with them until their divorce was final, and then she bought a house in Toms River. And
cool.
My sister followed shortly after, was in the reserves, was dating a guy in the reserves with her, and they had a child, and I came down to visit my niece when she was born, and I never left, basically. So
wow.
Yeah. So that
crazy,
that was 98, October 98, I moved here.
She was in the reserves at a Seagirt, maybe? Where was it?
No, where would she have been in the reserves?
I don't even know. All I know is
Dix?
guard.
I don't know where. I don't know. Fort Dix?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Definitely was in the reserves but she was in the reserves in Maine too.
Wow.
So yeah, she used to report to Bangor when he lived in Maine, but I don't know where she was down here. I don't know where she reported to anyway. I don't remember. I think it was Dix. Fort Dix? No. Yeah.
That's who you are.
Could have been, man.
No, I built the fort out of Dix. Dude, do you think he likes me? Like subliminally? Everything. He just looks at me and sees a giant penis every time he looks at me. Because every joke is fucking gay. Every joke.
A phallic joke?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that shit? Like those swords that they used in Braveheart and Gladiator?
He's going to make a gay joke out of this.
The
You know
longer
that,
the
right?
handle, like they made their own swords, and the longer the handle meant it was like a phallic symbol for how long their Johnson was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like the bigger the sword, the longer the handle was like a proud thing. It's like, oh, look at this handle.
Frankie got a butter
Wink,
knife.
wink. Yeah.
Butter knife.
The phallic swords.
Well, you see like David,
flaccid swords.
the David
Yeah.
sculpture
Yeah.
by Michelangelo.
Tiny penis.
You got a little.
Yeah.
You know, they said back in the day,
Micro
having
peen?
having a big one was considered barbaric.
Barbaric?
Barbaric, yeah. It's like people wanted little ones back then.
you think-
You would have been fucking
That's
very
like-
popular, Roger.
That's like,
I have a nice one, pal. I have a very nice one. I'll show you later.
that's like well, overweight women were sought after, right? Back in the day. Do you hear about that?
For warmth?
Well, because
It was like
they're
overweight
affluent,
women
right?
were.
Affluent,
Well, in
right?
Japan,
Yes.
I mean, isn't it funny how cultures are all different? In Japan, I believe, I think it's Japan. I could have this wrong. Look this up, Andrew. But they don't want women to shave down there. That's considered like a sign of fertility. The hairier your bush is, I think it's a sign of fertility. Yeah.
Oh.
You ever notice Japanese porn? You watch it, see they blur out the
Yeah,
action.
yeah. Why
You can see everything but the action. It's
Really?
blurred out.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm like, what? You're not even watching porn. You know? So I don't know. I guess it's not allowed over there. It's against the law. I guess.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Where was
Yeah,
the
look that up. Is hairy bush in Japan a sign of fertility? Or do I have that completely? Did I butcher that completely? I might have. I don't know.
where did people get caned?
Singapore.
Singapore.
That was
Like
the
if you're
guy-
spitting gum out in the
That
street.
was
or
the
something.
dude that did he spit gum? No. He just spit, I think, right? Remember what was it? He got caned. Remember the guy from Singapore, the kid, the American kid?
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
caned. I forgot what it was. But yeah. I went to Singapore.
But that's basically just beating your ass and you live, right? Where do you get stoned? That's in like Iraq or
Iran.
God, I don't know, man.
Iran.
But they say in Singapore you could leave your wallet in on a street bench and no one will take it. Because
Or you get caned for blowing a snot rocket.
yeah. Yeah, right. Give and take.
I might just not go.
This new millennial generation, they don't understand like what it's like to live in different cultures and how good they have it over here and what they can get away with. It's crazy. You know, you can literally do whatever you want. You can burn an American flag over here and nothing will happen to you.
Oh boy, that's tough.
I can't.
That's tough.
I couldn't watch it. There's situations that I know not to put myself in
Yeah.
because I would probably choose violence. So I just don't put myself in those. Could you watch somebody burn an American flag in front of you?
I could not.
I had to sucker him.
I could not.
I could not. I
No, I would try to take it, and if they got physical with me, I get physical back. You
yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
on them. But there's no way in hell I would let that go. No way.
I couldn't do it. They have the right to do it, so I'd be the one going to jail, I guess. But I still couldn't watch it.
They have the right to do it. Yeah.
It's crazy, but that just shows you, you know, this. It's almost the pendulum's almost swung too far here,
Yeah.
where people get away with too much. You know what I
I've
mean?
stopped in my car before driving past people's houses. I feel like a psychopath doing this, but if I see, you know, like those little tiny American flags.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go
They
ahead.
caught that dude in North Carolina that burnt that. I think it was North Carolina that burnt the Trump the sign.
yeah,
They
I saw
caught
that,
the
yeah.
bicyclist. He went by and he pulled up on the lawn. It was like, you know, Trump 2024 or whatever. He tried kicking it over, and then he came back at 4 a.m. and lit it on fire. And they got that dude. It was on
Yeah.
security camera. They got him.
Yeah.
God,
That's
man.
funny.
If I see a flag, I've stopped before. If I see like little American flags that are like broken, or if like an American flag towel or picture or anything like on the ground, even on someone's yard, I've actually stopped.
What do you do with your American flag when it gets tattered?
You fold it and you burn it, or you recycle it to a recycling center that takes American flags.
Yeah, well, every American Legion,
Yeah.
most American Legions, have flag box drop offs
Right.
outside where you can. I always fold my flags and drop them off. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Proper
respectful,
way to dispose
proper
of
way to do it. Yeah.
And they burn them, I believe, but they, in some ceremonial way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never burnt it,
No.
but yeah, you fold it up and take it from there. When I got back from overseas, I was at Fort Dix, and I was in detail, because no matter what, when you're on base, you have to have a job. Like, it's impossible for you to just lay there. You just can't, unless you are injured and you can't walk around. Oddly enough, when I got back, there's a couple injured soldiers from my company, and all the jobs around base were taken by soldiers that were claiming back pain, so they didn't have to go to war and stuff. So the easier jobs were taken. So I was on crutches. A couple guys I was overseas with that came back, they were on crutches. We were on bathroom duty, so we're like switching the toilets, changing the urinal cakes, and all that shit. And the guys that didn't go to war, that didn't really want to, they were like in the mail room and doing all this other stuff. It was a pretty big kick in the face. But at that time, oh wait, where are we going with this? I'm sorry. We're talking about the oh shit.
We're just talking about the level of disrespect with the young people, millennials, and the fact that you're allowed to burn a flag and that.
I had a total brain fart there.
That's all right. I do it all the time.
Hey,
I do it all the
It's in
time.
and out, man.
I do it all the
told
time,
you.
brother. I do it all the
Shit's in and
time.
out. There was something
I got
else
a
coming
reason.
out
Roger
there,
has
but-
no reason.
I got no reason. Frankie
I'll let
does
that
this-
go and I'll come
Frankie
back.
does this
We'll
thing where like he feels the necessity. He's not proving it to me because he's right, but he has to prove to everybody in the room and everybody listening that I'm dumber than him. Like I've ever argued to the point ever. I agree full-heartedly that he's more intelligent than me. He still feels the need to prove it every day to somebody. So
I'm glad you know, Roger.
Why is that,
I'm
Frank?
glad you know.
I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I'm a dominant motherfucker. That's
Is
why.
that what it is? Is that what it is? I thought only in the fighting realm, but now that you're retired, you want to do it in the
No,
intelligence
Roger.
capacity?
Roger is so sensitive, and I see.
If I was sensitive, I wouldn't make it a
seen
day
that
with
nerve
you.
exposed, and now I'm just digging at it. You know what I mean?
You know what? Speaking of that, how are you gonna get your high now?
Thought immediately you were going to say through your sibling, through your son. I thought. You were
Well,
gonna say-
definitely through my kids. I mean, that's what's kept me going, just following my kids around, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But next chapter, I'm opening a gym.
Did you find a spot yet or no?
I'm in process. I'll tell you. Actually, I wanted to talk about this.
Oh
Here we go.
shit!
Let's talk about this.
Here we go.
He's pissed off. Let's
No,
go.
No, but like, tell me, there are so many vacant spaces in our town, and these places would rather be empty than put someone in
Yeah.
at maybe a lower lease, lower time lease, or lower price. They would rather be empty than go down $1.
They'd rather pay the
They'd
mortgage.
rather be empty because this is what I hear is these big corporate companies buy these huge strip malls, and they'd rather take the tax write off on being empty
Oh.
than filling it at a lower price.
I get it.
And I don't know how that incentivizes businesses.
It
How does that?
doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But that- how-
So if
they don't
anything,
care.
that's going to make a town fail.
It'll make a town fail, but it's better for them, their pocket.
Well, no, it's better for these corporations that own these big,
Yeah.
these big conglomerates, right?
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, but that is just going to be the end of all business, though. No, if every place would rather, but so how no?
Because some people are going to pay the full price and sign the full lease contract.
Dude, I'm just saying. I've been looking for over a year now, at places, pretty extensively. There are several, and I mean several. The place I'm looking at now, I'm not gonna say where it is. The place I'm looking at now has been empty since before COVID.
Wow.
Since before COVID. Okay, now we're in negotiations with them. We asked for $1 cheaper. They said no. We said okay, and they're still dragging their feet on this. It's like they don't want to get it rented. It's crazy. I'm
Gotta be
trying to
aggravating.
do business in this town,
Yeah.
and I cannot. That's what's crazy.
I mean, these are big, like Madison Marquette. You ever hear of them? They own most of the properties in Asbury Park. iStar, if you drive through Asbury Park, you'll see surfboards in the ground. They own the land. And between the two companies, they're nationwide realty companies. They own so much shit that I could see that side. I'm not saying it's cool, but I could see that they make so much money that they have to take a loss, and maybe they're like, well, we'll just take a loss.
Yeah,
and
no,
keep paying out.
that has to be it. That has to be it.
It's not good for guys like you.
But
that
it's not
wanna-
good
wanna
for
do
business in town.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
So only one person's getting benefits of that.
Yeah.
Not everyone else, which how it's
That sucks.
really supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
I want you to get a space because then if we do Sons, we could film in there. For
There we
free.
go. It's coming. It's coming. I'm being positive. I'm gonna be positive.
You'll
about
find
it.
a
I
spot,
know.
dude.
It's gonna happen.
You tell me if we can
Yeah,
talk
but you're-
about this.
you're hell-bent in
because
Tom's
I don't want to
Yeah.
Right.
cross any lines here, but
Yeah.
Um,
Me?
well, no, the movie. I know we can't talk about the movie per se, but we can.
Oh, we can talk about the movie. I don't give a shit.
Can we talk about the police showing up when we were filming in the back parking lot and?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was funny when Roger was beating the shit out of this guy.
Like 3 cops roll in. Somebody must have called the police, obviously.
Yeah.
Like 3 cops pull in. The scene was over. We're just standing around. But they must have thought a real fight had just happened.
From
So-
a distance, that shit looks real.
Yeah.
They saw the cameras when they pull up, so they didn't come in like hot. It wasn't, they weren't like fucking light sirens or anything. But they're
Yeah.
like, "What, you guys like filming like a documentary?" Or whatever? Kev's like, "Yeah, just a college, whatever."
Yeah, I always go to that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a student film.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm like 40 years
Yeah.
old. I'm like a
I'm
late
the
bloomer.
professor.
Yeah.
Professor's assistant.
Late bloomer. That always gets to know when you say student film or something.
Yeah.
That's the hook. They're like, oh, good luck, kid.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what they said.
Say thanks, buddy. Cop's like 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cop showed up because it does look real, man,
Yeah,
from a
man.
distance. And if you
Well,
have a
listen,
small
it was
crew,
pretty real that we put a dent in that kid's car.
you sure did.
Kid was filming using his own vehicle, and he left with a big old dent and thing.
Oh,
and,
he's gonna
and
remember
was,
that,
He was
bro.
happy for. He was like, "No, this is great." He was happy he had a dent in his car.
And obviously, I'm producing the movie, so I pulled him aside. And I said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't foresee that happening, whatever it was." And I said, "I'll take care of it." He's like, "No, man. Roger Matthews just beat the shit out of me and got a dent in my car. I don't care." I said, "Okay, you got it, bud. See you later." Yeah, that was a trip, man. That happened a couple times making films. We did one in Belmar, and
Well, I imagine mine was just a fight scene. I would imagine the ones with the fake pistols have to draw a lot of people. No.
that's where you got to watch.
Yeah.
I did a movie in L.A. one time, and I was running around the streets with a pistol in my hand like an idiot. I just wasn't even thinking of it.
Yeah, but the
And
big budget movies, right? Obviously,
It's all
there's a huge.
blocked off.
It's all blocked off, right? They get
not just blocked off, but it's
They have
controlled.
a firearm safety instructor on set.
So, yeah. But every single person you see on camera is a hired extra.
Yeah.
So it's literally a contained thing. You go indie's like Renegade. It's like you're a rebel. Like that's how indies were, man. Indies, especially in the 90s when it first started, there was like a big craze of independent film because people were like, oh man, I can make a movie on my own for like cheap.
Right.
Shit. So everyone just got a camera, got a sound guy, and started filming. And there was like such an influx of movies being made that everyone was just doing them, and it was just like this gritty feel to it. Especially like in the East Coast and New York and stuff. It was cool. LA too. But things changed because they don't feel gritty like that anymore.
Right.
It's like the camera's got a lot better and it's not as rough and handheld, It's just kind of like smooth and clean.
Do you have a take on why am I drawing Alex? What's his name that actually shot somebody on set? What the fuck? Why am I drawing a blank on
Alex
his name?
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
Do you have a take on that?
Dude, it's funny.
And like
Amanda and I
how
were, like, back
a
and
million
forth.
things had to go wrong for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
So the armorer, right? We didn't have an armorer. We didn't need an armorer because they're not real guns. They're airsoft guns. It's impossible for a bullet to pass through the chamber. They're plastic. There is no CO2. They were just click, 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 click. You know what I mean? Some people want to use real fucking guns, dude. I don't see the point of it. You get a good VFX guy and you're good.
Right.
Like, you really are good. And you get an actor, if you get that feeling of popping, like when you were popping off in that one scene, like no one could tell that was a real gun or not, Which is why I specifically had the camera in front instead of on the side because I didn't want anyone to pick up on an actor not going like this. So if it's the front, all you see is flash. So the camera was placed in very specific positions on Bastard Sons.
Yep.
But Rust, you're handed a weapon.
Yeah.
They're supposed to clear it in front of you. They hand it to you. You take it and you place it.
That was essentially his defense, right? I mean, Baldwin's defense essentially was, look, you know, the gun
Yeah, I
was
gave it-
the
yeah.
gun was cleared to go when I got it.
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
not. In my opinion,
ultimately,
it's, not his
it's your responsibility. but
Yeah, it's not his responsibility.
it's not. You think it's? Not?
I don't think
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
I be doing the scenes like that, having a weapon, fake weapon, and practice rehearsing this and that. Me personally has nothing to do with like the actor. Me personally, I would never aim a gun at someone
Sure.
and fake fire.
Yeah,
No.
it is just so against everything you're taught
It's
in gun
silly.
safety.
It's stupid to
Everything
do
you're
that, dude.
taught
Never.
teaches you not to do that.
So it's an actor playing insensitively, pointing at people, this and that, yada yada. And I don't like when people do that shit to me, man. I'll lose my shit.
Yeah.
When actors, for my own personal reasons.
Very ironic. That's a horrible tragedy, but ironic in that he's such an anti-gun advocate too. You know? What I
Yeah.
mean? So,
But the thing is, he did it during rehearsal.
yeah.
So if they didn't do a rehearsal and they did it during the take, unfortunately, he would have expended that ammo.
During live.
Yeah. So one way or another, man, they were just kind of doomed from the start that live ammo made it into that gun.
And we live in this world today, right? Which is the reason it's the way it is because we're just lied to all the time. But conspiracy theories start on everything immediately. Everything now.
Everything.
The second something happens, conspiracy theories are just like you just turn on your phone and it's like there was a million about him, right? Somehow his wife, the girl that he shot, was connected to a lawyer firm that
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, my
There's a
God.
bunch
But
of
what's true and what's not?
what's true and what's
so
not.
much
Exactly.
garbage out there.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's too bad that happened. But he got cleared, right? And they finished
I'm
his-
sure that if he got cleared, there's going to be a massive civil suit. I'm sure. Yeah.
I heard that it got cleared, and I don't watch the news, so it's really
I can't
secondhand or
stand the
whatever.
news.
But they continued filming, and the husband was listed as executive producer. Loosely defined credit.
Wait.
Producer.
So his wife had to die, and they gave him a credit. What do you? I don't
Yeah,
understand what you mean.
it's odd. I mean,
He
it's
wasn't in it in any way. And-
no. I mean, I don't know the extent of his involvement, but a producer credit is a loosely involved credit. Like, say,
Jenny, you want to be in Rust too? I'm joking. We're in a good place. We're in a good place.
producer credits are weird. Like, say you were a star, right?
Yeah.
And I'm boys with Frankie, and I know Frankie was boys with you, and I was like, man, I gotta get to Roger, you know. So I'm like, Frank, can you get to Roger? I want to get him on a movie. I'm like, if he wants to do it, you know, let me know. So Frankie talks to you, comes back to me, and Frank's like, yeah, I can get Roger. Yeah, what are you gonna pay him? I'm like, 100 G's. You're like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get him for 75. You give me producer credit. All right, done. Boom. All the time.
That's how it
And
is.
the people that get those producer credits ride it to the bank because when you see that shit on the screen, you'll never know exactly what everyone does.
Right.
And then it turns out that people that don't have a true responsibility on that film will go out and raise money and say, I was a producer on Bastard Sons.
Yep.
But no one will ever know what they
I've seen
did.
that happen even in the reality world.
Oh, yeah?
I've seen negotiations to get producer credits.
Yeah, it's a loosely defined term.
It
dude.
very much is. Yeah.
But producer could just be an investor, right?
Yes, it's usually labeled executive. But I also know a producer that wanted to make a career producing films. So he financed one and wanted a producer credit rather than an executive producer credit. So he chose that one. And it's his call. He put
Because the
money into it.
future could be endless.
Yeah,
In that.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a good way to get in. You know, if you got hookups and connections, you can get a couple quick producer credits if you're savvy and you're a hustler, and then boast that you were the producer from this movie or the producer from this movie, and go raise funds for your movie.
Sure.
And that happens, and then that dude goes make a movie, and it fucking sucks.
Right.
You're like, how the hell that happened? It's because he didn't do anything. He just
Right.
made things. You know,
He
made
had
things
no
happen.
idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's cool to listen to you, and you know, there's always inside workings to every industry, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know it till you sit down with somebody that's in that,
Doing it,
you know, on the inside. So it's cool, and you've worked multiple sides of it. So
Yeah, I made sure I learned the shit out of it, man.
Yeah.
That's why, because I can't stand getting burned anymore. I got burned enough. You know, when you're like, oh, there's always lessons to take from everything. I'm tired of lessons.
Yeah.
I took enough.
Right.
I took enough.
Amen.
You know?
Amen.
Took enough hard ones. I'm like, done. Of course I'll keep learning. I don't want any more fucking lessons.
Yeah.
You know, so I learned this shit out of it. My time in LA was like going to film school, man. I was there for 7 years, and I didn't go to film school. I just got connected with people that I really wanted to learn from, and they took me under their wing a lot, and I helped them out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to learn the nuts and bolts of this business, how this shit really goes down. Like, really goes down, you know? How they sell movies foreign, overseas, what they look for. Did I tell you guys about that shit?
Mm-mm.
All right. This is it's wild. It's unfortunate, but it's wild. And as an actor, knowing this side of the business, it's completely just like it just sucks the life out of it. But I have to separate myself and just embrace it. There's 6 film markets around the world. 6. One of them is in the United States. It's called the American Film Market, AFM. It's in Santa Monica every year at the end of October. It's at the Lowe's Hotel. They clear out all the beds. They leave the desks. And all these foreign sales reps and U.S. distributors come in. And whatever movies they're hosting, I keep looking at the flag because it kind of makes me think of what the room looks like. They blow up the movie posters and they put them all around the room. And then they do 8x10s outside the room. So when you're walking around a hotel, think about like when you're walking down a hallway and you see like door. Outside each door is essentially a shitload of 8x10 movies, and you can look at them and see who's in it, right? So these distributors and foreign sales reps mostly, they make all the phone calls and emails before getting to the market, and they line up meetings. And the shit out there is like this. 15, 20 minutes, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So if you're in a foreign sales rep's office, so say Bastard Sons, we have a foreign sales rep, Igor Prince from Prince Films. He's a friend of mine. He's a great guy. He did that movie Malicious that's coming out in October. He invested in that, and he's selling it foreign, and he's also going to take Bastard Sons foreign as well. So Igor's going to go to AFM. He's going to get a room, and he's going to have posters all over. And he's going to have posters outside, and all the people he sets up meetings for from, these are all distributors in different countries, right? So the UK might have like 12 or 15 different film distributors. Australia might have 20. Ireland may have 6. Taiwan might have 2. You know what I mean? So you're basically at the mercy of who your foreign sales rep has relationships with to sell your movie to get it around. So when AFM happens, everyone that's at AFM lines up. 10:15, we got so-and-so from Taiwan. 10:30, we got so-and-so from this. And so on and so forth for like 5 days. And they just circulate. They come in, they look around the room, and they go, I'm looking for action and horror. Is that a horror? Yeah. Is there tits? No. Is that action? Yeah. Is there guns? Yeah. I want to see that trailer. Is there crime? Yeah. Is there guns? Yeah. Violence? Yeah. Tits? Yeah. I want to see that trailer. And we go. And then the foreign sales rep will put the link up on the computer screen, and they'll play the trailers. And if he likes them, he'll tell him he likes them, and he says, let me watch the movies now. And if I like the movies, we're probably talking, maybe I'll give you $7,000 for both. And then the sales rep will be like, well, what about that horror? And he's like, no boobs. And he's like, well, give me like 500. I'll throw the 3 in together. And they hustle, and that's how it's done.
Wow.
Out, knock, knock, knock. Next guy comes in. It's like bam, 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 bam. It's crushing because they don't give a fuck about art. They care about what sells. So action sells, horror
It's
does. Like it is what it is, you know? Supernatural, sci-fi, fantasy, dog movies. Dog, like guy with dog.
Yeah.
Faith-based. Like there's certain genres that sell more. Sons is just past halfway. We got a decent amount of violence in there.
Decent amount. How much more do you need? That's got plenty of
Sons
violence.
2, we're gonna blow it up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. Wow.
Yeah, Sons 2, we're gonna push a needle with that, story wise and visual wise, because it warrants it, and because I know it sells.
Sure.
And like that movie Malicious, I'll talk numbers. I don't give a shit. Like that's not even released in the U.S. yet. So we made that for like cheap, just for shits. It was like a big passion project for the director and myself. We wrote it together, and we shot it over COVID. So no one was working, and we're like, dude, we can get some scratch up. Let's just get some fucking bangers in here and do it. You know what I mean? Like some hardcore actors that are like, fuck it, let's just go. So I called my friends up, and we did it. I think all in all, that movie, it cost like $70,000 tops to make, right? But it already made about 110 overseas in four countries. So it's still got a shitload more countries to sell to. You know what I mean? Bastard Sons did not sell overseas yet. It will, but there's a chance that Malicious might make more because it's in the higher sought after genre.
Sure. Yeah, gotcha.
That's it. Sons, I think, who knows what's a better movie? I don't know. But Malicious it came out pretty good, but just because it's that genre.
Yeah.
So if you make an action film, dude, you ever see those shitty ass action films scrolling through late at night this fucking blows.
3 a.m.
You know how much fucking money that movie made? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. The shittiest ones.
Because overseas, like in India, that's probably like Terminator. You know what I mean? It's probably
That's the thing.
greatest.
Action translates to every single nationality.
Sure.
Humor doesn't.
Yep.
Drama doesn't. Action does. Everyone knows violence.
Tits
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Violence sells no matter what.
For sure.
Everyone buys violence. So note to self, after these couple films, guess what I'm doing next? Yeah.
Right up your alley there, Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you
You're
guys.
selling
That's the only
violence.
thing I'm good at.
Frankie, I got a job. I got to be violent.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the pay is yet. Don't worry about it. I'll be there Thursday.
I'm in.
Yeah. So that's next. I hooked up with some really great dude, and he lives in West Orange, actually. He's a fight coordinator and a fight coordinator, stunt choreographer. And he showed me some of his clips and everything, and I was like, wow, this guy's dope, dude.
Take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. He does a lot of TV stuff, and he's telling me some of the stuff he tried doing on TV, and they were like,
Not so much.
yeah. I'm like, nah, I want that.
How do some of these like huge, like A-list celebrities? How are they allowed to do? Like you always hear Tom Cruise. I know he does a lot of his like base jumping, skydiving
Dude,
stuff.
he's nuts.
Jackie
tell
Chan
me,
was another one. How
why
do
do you
these
think?
guys? How do they get signed off to be able to do that? Is it because they're prima donnas and they
No.
no
Tom Cruise can do what he wants because Tom Cruise gets the money.
Tom Cruise? Yeah.
That movie's not going anywhere unless Tom Cruise is involved.
Right.
He's the production company. He gets the financiers. He knows what he's worth in every single country. Dude, stars are stars for a reason,
Yeah.
man.
True.
They're most stars are for a reason. When you see someone with longevity, they're usually a smart gal or a smart guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes actors come up, they're hot for a couple years, you never hear of them again. Usually because they're just a really beautiful person. There's lightning in a bottle in a couple of films.
The beauty fails.
And it kind of goes away. But the actor was not responsible for getting there.
Yeah.
The agency was. So it's hard for an actor to understand how to keep that because they were not responsible for making the decisions to be there in the first place.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the smart actors, those guys are stars for a reason. Yeah. They're smart. Yeah, everyone talks about their team and all that shit. That's real shit. They got mentors and all that crap too, you know?
Right.
So
Gotta have good people around you no matter what, right?
Absolutely. No matter
Yeah.
what business you're in.
I mean, my circle's got a lot smaller since the older I got. Have you guys?
Yeah, that's
Very
My motto has been for years now, no new friends.
Really?
That's my motto, man. No new friends. It took me 40 years to figure out who
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
who my circle is, who my tribe is, who my people are, who I relate to. And I love meeting new people. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't say that I love it, but I like meeting new people. I'm a pleasant guy. I like acquaintances. I like forming new friendships, if you will, but they're not part of my tribe.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? I know who my people are, and I'm cool with that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Took me a long time to figure out, who I assimilate with and who I'm like-minded with and who I can be around for an extended period of time. And I'm not looking to fill any voids there. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Franklin.
I'm just
It
saying,
should be
bro, there
amazing.
might be a fucking amazing guy you never met that you really might like, and you're like, no new friends, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't work like that. I don't just come out and say no new friends.
This guy's fucking really good at fucking, I don't know, a lot of good, like, board games or something. I don't know. He's really fun to fucking hang out with. Like, nope, not gonna have it no more. I'm
You
done.
blew that friendship, Raj.
No, I've met some people recently that I thought would, and then you find like a little something about them. You're like, that's why I don't want no new friends. That's happened recently, actually.
That's why he
Like
hasn't
they
been
seem-
answering my calls. That's all right. I get it.
No, man, I feel like I stalked you for a while, and finally, you're like, fuck it, I might as well just be this guy's friend.
Oh man. Is there a mentor? Do you have mentors in your life?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not like
Fighters
formally. Just people that have been in my life for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm curious, who? Mark Henry?
Yeah, he's one of them. Ricardo Almeida, Steve Rivera.
Yeah,
I'd
Steve
say
for sure.
I'd say Steve's definitely one of
Steve-
my biggest mentors for sure.
I think I don't know if you throw Ligori in that mix because he's your same age and you guys are kind
We're
of peers.
more
but
peers, but yeah, he's definitely. I mean, honestly, yeah, I think.
He just got a 2nd-degree black belt. I saw. That's
He
awesome.
did, yeah.
But definitely, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but the guy I see you hanging out with professionally and privately the most, definitely Steve Rivera.
Yeah, I've known Steve since I've been. I mean, he's my first wrestling coach ever, pretty much. And now he coaches my kids, so there's a lot of history there. But yeah, he's definitely someone I respect their opinion and their outlook on things.
Some people are just good to bounce with.
Yeah,
Right. Just to like.
And that
Bounce
dude's,
all the way.
I'm guessing, what is he, 50?
I think he just turned. Oh no, he's just turned 54.
Bro, the dude still gets after it. Like,
Wow,
gets
yeah.
after it.
Well, he
Yeah,
wrestled.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Wow,
Little
man.
dude, but savage.
Man.
Yep.
Man. Do you get after it?
Not so much these days. I mean, I can. Listen, don't try me in the street, but no, I don't. But Frankie's opening a school soon. I'm going to join with my kids because my daughter will want to go because V will be there. My son, he's built like that. He loves to get down. And I'm going to go just because it'll be good. I'm not a cardio guy, bro. I hate cardio, but it'll be good. You know, it's not cardio per se, but you'll get some cardio in rolling around.
Oh,
and,
yeah, man.
You know, I'm not the most flexible guy there is, so it'll just be.
Other people say different.
See?
Other people say different.
This guy's in love with me. He's in love with me. He's so in love with me. So yeah, so I'll be there, getting it in. But, I've just been a gym rat for fucking 25, 30 years. So
Yeah.
go to the gym 5 days a week. You know what I mean? And just like lifting weights. I just kind of got my routine now. I take it. The reason I like doing stuff with him is the same reason I hate doing stuff with him is because he'll fucking push the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's good, but it sucks.
I realized. I mean, I kind of always knew this, but like, I need to work out every day.
Oh, yeah.
If I don't, I'm not right.
You're off, right?
I'm off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. And like I gotta do something. I gotta suffer a little bit.
He's
Yeah.
driven by suffering. He really is. Truly.
Yeah, with that ice bath and shit.
It's just
Crazy.
injuries too. Like you don't see guys handle injuries the way this guy does. It's just he's built different. I remember, he had a hip replacement or partial.
It's called resurface, but yeah, it cut
Basically,
me
yeah.
open pretty good.
Hip replacement, and he's walking down the stairs. He's got crutches. He's supposed to be on for like a month, and he's walking down the stairs to do the podcast the following Tuesday. It's insane, bro. You know what I mean? I fucking hate tooting your own because you're such a arrogant, cocky fucking prick. But it's true.
You know what I should do, man? In Sons 2, I should write it in where he has to like praise your character.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I hate it.
good, next take, Raj.
Yeah.
Another take.
I say
Another
nice
take.
things like that, and then fucking gay. He's gay over there.
Oh, jeez.
No, what did I say to you the other day? Was something that I read that was true. A true friend does not compliment you all the time. A true friend tells you when you fuck up.
Yeah.
That's Frankie.
Yeah,
That's
fucking
Frankie.
true as it gets, buddy.
It's like Frankie's the best friend in the world, man.
Yeah, I need a break from him sometimes. I'll be honest. When I
Listen,
leave,
I keep
when
him
I
honest.
when
I
I
keep
leave
him
here,
honest.
I'm ready to go home.
He's a sensitive Sally.
I
Sally.
wouldn't make it a day if I was a sensitive Sally.
Do you guys hear about, speaking of which, so there's videos out with, did you see the Crawford Spence fight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. Roger picked Spence.
That's
You
not
did? You
true.
picked Spence?
That's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. Another lie. Go to the tape. Mike got it on camera. I did not pick Spence.
I called it. There were very few times I knew that was gonna happen, man.
I picked Bud,
Yeah.
but I didn't know. I honestly didn't think it was gonna go that like handily.
Be that one-sided.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I
Oh,
called
let's talk
TKO.
about something real quick. I don't, since you're bringing up fighting, I can't believe that. I mean, I knew about this a while ago, but they just had the press conference, so it must be coming right up. That Logan Paul is going to fight
Picked. I know,
Dylan Dennis. Why
Yeah.
Dylan Dennis? He's not.
It's an easy fight.
Well, he's going to drop out. I was
easy.
happy.
I
to
don't think
see,
he'll drop out.
I was happy to see his replacement.
Mike
though.
Perry. Now,
Mike Perry,
listen.
dude. I would love to see Mike. I love Mike Perry.
Why is Dennis gonna drop out? Or he did already?
Dylan
No,
Dennis
he's-
drops out of every fight in the last 5 years. He's
Yeah.
the dude's had one MMA fight ever, and he drops out of every fight. He literally just is a professional tool. That's what he
Wow.
is. And you know,
Bro, he's been owning Logan now.
no, Not Logan. Logan's girl.
But whatever. Even Logan, though.
Yeah.
Even Logan, he's like, oh, this is Dylan Dennis. He got choked out by a bouncer. He's like, your wife got fucked by 40 girls and you're marrying her. Or 40 guys, you're marrying her. You know? He's crushing it.
He's killing it. He is slaying it. But then I saw Logan say something about his mother was an actual prostitute or something. Like
What? Who? Dylan's mother was?
According to Logan,
I heard
like,
Dylan's family comes from money.
I don't know.
He's a Jersey guy.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A Jersey guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Comes from money.
You got choked.
Yeah.
Out. You got choked
Rumson,
out.
Deal, Upper
Up
Saddle.
north, somewhere up there. Somewhere up north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deal. No.
Deal?
You're not, no. If you're not a Syrian Jew, you're not living in Deal.
Really?
It's all Syrian Jews.
Is it?
Yeah. It's true.
Okay. I didn't know that. A little geography for me.
Yeah.
Syrian Jew, really? In Deal?
Aha!
Last time I went through Deal was like, we were looking at Billy Joel's old house. Do you remember that? You guys ever see that shit?
It's a small town. It's not a big town.
His
Deal's like
house
Red
is shaped
Bank,
like a
right?
baby piano.
North of Asbury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his house is shaped like his old house is shaped like a baby piano.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, we used to go up there and shoot it with paintball
It's a little gay.
guns.
Maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, I got to pee, boys. I don't know if we
Yeah,
want to call
yeah,
it or
yeah.
take
Kev,
a break. 'Cause
hey,
I got to
man.
pee.
Pleasure, boys.
Thanks for coming down, hanging out, man. Always a good time.
Thanks for having me.
Bastard Sons coming out soon. Fucking soon.
Soon.
Right? All right. You come look for it.
Soon.
What should people look for?
For the movie, you mean?
Oh, anything you got coming up.
Keep an eye out for Malicious on Amazon to rent or buy on October 10th. That's the next one out. And then Bastard Sons will be shortly thereafter. Yeah.
All right, let's go, everybody. Find and follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most other podcast platforms. Roger, take it away.
This guy.